What's up guys, this is your favorite fanfic YouTuber, the Fanfic Majesty, and welcome to another amazing video. You can follow me on Patreon for exclusive stories. 15BH. Chapter 376 Uchiha Madara is here. Advertisement. Although Uchiha Madara had imagined it, K's, a monster-like little devil, might defeat other Ninamura shadows. But when the facts really happened, he still felt shocked in his heart. Hefeng, this kid, is really incredible. Between the pillars, you have a grandson who can inherit the mantle. Uchiha Madara couldn't help feeling a lot. In the entire ninja realm, Senju Zuma can be said to be his only close friend. But it is also the god of ninja who suppresses him everywhere. From the first day I met him, his water scoop has been better than himself. Various physical abilities are also quite amazing. I thought that after opening the writing wheel, I could leave the column behind. The result is still not working. After that, he opened the kaleidoscope to write round eyes again, and the same result was still the same. Then came the eternal kaleidoscope. Still can't beat the pillars. Then there was the famous battle of the End Valley. One's own eternal kaleidoscope plus 9 tails. You can hit the tail beast Jade to the other side at will. As a result, he still failed to defeat the pillars. Now, although the pillar is dead, he has a grandson who inherits the mantle, Hefeng. In addition, there is a younger brother in the pillar room, who is still in the world. This feeling made Uchiha Madara's mood very delicate. But, I will always beat you. Between the pillars, my Moon Eye project is the path that can truly bring peace to this world. Just start with resolving the harmony. Click. At the end of the sentence, Uchiha Madara slapped his hands hard and put them together directly. Through this period of recuperation, his body improved. At this time, he can create an elephant turn clone with 50% of his chakra. If you give Uchiha Madara some more time, it is not impossible to get around 60%, or even 70%. But unfortunately, although Uchiha Madara now only has 50% of the chakra volume, the breeze at this time is undoubtedly the most vulnerable time. Even a gentle breeze cannot have unlimited chakras. Fighting against Earth Shadow, Wind Shadow, and Water Shadow one after another, undoubtedly consumed most of the chakra of the gentle breeze. Especially the last multiple shadow avatar technique. With the activation of the Zhangjuan technique, the one closest to Uchiha Madara, Baiju, changed dramatically. Slowly became Uchiha Madara's appearance. At the same time. Advertisement. An inconspicuous corner of Konoha hidden village. A Shirazu who was using the Mayfly technique was secretly observing the battle, and sent the information here to Uchiha Madara. And now, he received a new instruction, bit his thumb and wiped the bright red blood on the palm of his other hand. I saw him quickly forming seals with both hands and performing psychic techniques. Psychic art. Bang. With a muffled noise, a cloud of white mist exploded directly under his hands and spread to the surroundings. A majestic chakra spread out in all directions. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. For Uchiha Madara, he doesn't need to hide his arrival at all. On the contrary, he hopes that his high-profile appearance can attract everyone's attention. In any case, the only man who can suppress him and make him feel tricky. It's gone, and the rebirth of the dirty soil in the door is not complete now. Even if he uses this ninjutsu forcibly, I'm afraid I can't make the pillars in the peak state. In other words, the name Uchiha Madara is a symbol of invincibility. And an invincible existence like him naturally does not need to act low-key. However, in Konoha Hidden Village, the person who first discovered Uchiha Madara was not a Japanese style. And also hiding in the dark, silently deducing the history of the ninja world, sitting and observing the big picture behind the scenes. Black absolutely. It was Uchiha Madara, who was directly fooled from the beginning. It is worth mentioning that in Heiju's eyes, the wind is also an unstable factor. 50% of the chakra volume. Although it is far away from Madara's heyday, it should be enough to deal with the current breeze. In any case, he can't let the little devil, Hefeng, continue to grow. Throughout the history of ninja world, even the children of the 6 Tao immortals, Indra and Asura, are far less terrifying than the growth rate of Hefeng. The most important thing is that Heiju couldn't understand even dreaming. How did Hefeng, a kid, have both the Shulanyan and the Mudangshu at the same time? Although he explained to others that he had transplanted Uchiha's eyes. But Highway knew the truth very well. Hefeng, the kid, didn't transplant any other eyes at all. And through oneself, opened the writing wheel eye. Even Highway feels unbelievable and unbelievable. After thinking about it, I can only think that this is an ancestral phenomenon that happened to Hefeng. Advertisement. In any case, the current Uchiha line is actually a descendant of Indra. The thousands of hands are descendants of Asura. In fact, they all have the genes of 6 immortals. Otherwise, Heiju couldn't find any reason to explain all this. And the final upgrade route for writing round eyes is the round eyes. Once let Hefeng this guy got the reincarnation eye. His strength will undergo earth-shaking changes. At that time, it will be even more difficult to deal with the breeze. So, now, it is undoubtedly the safest way to solve the harmony here. Come on, Uchiha Madara, let me see your current strength. Heiju's eyes suddenly became enthusiastic. Great expectations for Uchiha Madara. Soon, Uchiha Madara's chakra caused an uproar in Konoha Hidden Village. Even ninjas who are not very proficient in perception can feel this power, like a heat wave. Fei Jian's face changed suddenly. As a top perception ninja, his perception ability is even better than that of the pillars. Not only noticed the horrible chakra quantity, but also recognized the holders of this chakra quantity. Yes, it is. Even if it is only 50% of the chakra amount, in the eyes of others, it is also a very scary existence. This is Madara, the man who bears the strongest Uchiha name. Spot. Jien stepped back quickly, guarding Kazuka behind her, staring nervously in the direction of Uchiha Madara. At the same time warn everyone to be careful. For a time, most of the joy of just winning the war was dissipated. Staring at the direction of the unknown chakra quantity as if facing a big enemy. The ninjas in Yenian Village, Wuyin Village, and Cheyenne Village are also confused. Some are confused about the situation. Could it be from other people in Ninja Village? Spot. And the Zephyr who possessed the ability of Kagura's heart and eyes quickly recognized this chakra. Unexpectedly, Uchiha Madara would also take advantage of the fire. Hefeng thought to himself. In his opinion, the reason why Uchiha Madara suddenly appeared is very likely. It's for yourself. He wants to solve himself. Chapter 377 Kick away Chinshojian with a kick. Advertisement. Uchiha Madara's sudden appearance, like a bomb, instantly detonated the audience. No one thought that at this time, in this place, I would see Uchiha Madara. Especially the ninjas of the Uchiha clan are like dreaming. I'm not mistaken, is that person Uchiha Madara? A ninja from the Uchiha clan couldn't help exclaiming, with a shocked expression on his face. Anyone who knows Hokage knows exactly what weight the name Uchiha Madara has. Although the Uchiha clan betrayed Madara for a while, they did not leave Shinobu with him. But among them, no one would underestimate Uchiha Madara's strength. Even today, he is still the strongest of the Uchiha clan. None of them. This is the common sense that every ninja of the Uchiha clan masters. Even among these people, there are those who have inherited Uchiha Madara's will, trying to use a powerful force to subvert Konoha's regime. But, the ninja of the Uchiha clan present, besides being extremely shocked, was also at a loss for his sudden appearance. Why, Madara would choose to show up at this time? And what is his purpose here? To protect Konoha. But isn't the war just over? The ninjas of the Uchiha clan couldn't help but talk a lot, and they couldn't understand the situation in front of them. In fact, they once thought that Uchiha Madara died soon after leaving the village. When I saw him again, these Uchiha ninjas also wanted to know. This time when Uchiha Madara disappeared. Where did you go? What did you do again? Yes, it is. The Uchiha Madara who appeared again brought too many questions to the ninjas present. It's not just the Uchiha clan. Other Konoha ninjas also have similar questions. However, Uchiha Madara was a radical when he was in Konoha Shinobu. His proposition is completely different from that of the pillars. The method that the pillars chose to promote peace at that time was to use tail beasts to check and balance, so that the 5 ninja villages did not dare to go to war easily. And Uchiha Madara believes that there is no need for the 5 ninja villages to exist. Even privately tore up the peace agreement proposed between the pillars and asked Yenian village to merge with Konoha. Except for the Uchiha clan, there are some ninjas who worship Uchiha Madara. Other family ninjas are quite dissatisfied with Uchiha Madara's attitude. Seeing Uchiha Madara appearing now, naturally I don't think that he is here to celebrate Konoha's victory, and talk to him in harmony with the wind. On the contrary, these Konoha ninjas stared at the incoming Uchiha Madara, like an enemy. Needless to say, as the current agent of Naruto. Advertisement. He was always afraid of Uchiha Madara. Over and over again, I hope that between the pillars can kill Uchiha Madara. But it failed. It wasn't until Uchiha Madara's death was confirmed in the Valley of the End, that he felt a sigh of relief. Until Uchiha Madara hits Hefeng. He realized that Uchiha Madara had used suspended animation. After that, he has been thinking about strategies against Uchiha Madara. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. However, the worst thing is that I never thought that Uchiha Madara would choose such a node and reappear. Almost a subconscious reaction, he used the technique of Flying Thunder God to appear directly in front of Hefeng. Protect him behind yourself. At the same time, he looked at Uchiha Madara with hostility. Bara, what do you want to do when you go back to the village? There was a sound in the air. Even with the eyes of a strong man like Uchiha Madara, his momentum is not at a disadvantage. However, Uchiha Madara did not answer at all in the face of interrogation. Even Uchiha Madara didn't take a second look. Go straight to the breeze. He now wants to settle the peace. Sure enough, Hefeng thought to himself, staring directly at Uchiha Madara with full concentration. Seeing him coming straight to him, Hefeng immediately confirmed. Uchiha Madara suddenly appeared, just to kill himself. Because he is now the only variable in the ninja world. He is also the only person who can influence his Moon Eye project. It is ironic to say that the Moon Eye project that made Uchiha Madara once crazy is not a way to peace at all. It's a scam that Heiju laid out from the very beginning in order to rescue Wie. Hefeng recalled the plot of Naruto. From the beginning, Uchiha Madara was just a tool man. Until he got his heart out, he thought he was the incarnation of his own will. Of course, the emotion belongs to the emotion. For Highway's scam, Hefeng didn't bother to expose it. Moreover, even if he told it all, Uchiha Madara couldn't believe it. During this period, Kase even felt that the current Uchiha Madara might not even have noticed the existence of Kurozu. But anyway, put aside these problems. There is no doubt that Uchiha Madara is powerful. Especially the Traverser Hefeng. In his opinion, Uchiha Madara's sense of oppression was even stronger than that of the last boss Kagaya. Advertisement. And I really need an opponent to test how strong I am now. Thinking of this, Hefeng couldn't help but raise the corner of his mouth, and a smile appeared. High fighting spirit, and Uchiha Madara is the same. For this battle, he has been looking forward to it for a long time. If it's in MT. Myoki, Uchiha Madara's chakra amount, if not exhausted. At that time, he was very likely to solve the problem. And now, he is stronger than the elephant turn clone at that time. Chakras are also more abundant. Uchiha Madara will never make the same mistake twice. Uchiha Madara. Hefeng's eyes narrowed slightly, recalling the battle of Miamu Mountain. At that time, his life was really hanging by a thread. However, Uchiha Madara had more chakras at that time. He is definitely more ill-fortuned. However, people will grow. Today's breeze, when it is away from Miamu Mountain, it has been completely reborn. Don't think about it. In an instant, he made a move and attacked Uchiha Madara's vitals. The ninja present was in an uproar. Uchiha Madara, you will be Uchiha Madara. In any case, he will not allow Uchiha Madara to hurt Hefeng. A muffled sound burst between Uchiha Madara and the wind. The man called the god of ninjutsu. However, actually, feeling very excited, especially the radicals of the Uchiha clan, they themselves inherited Madara's will. Now I see him showing amazing strength. Be spotted by Uchiha, kicked flying. Bang. What's more, let alone the dying situation in the current period, even at the peak of its heyday, there is still a big gap with Uchiha Madara. Really, the facial features in the door were twisted on the spot, and his body flew upside down from the place like a kite with a broken line. Under Uchiha Madara's men, he couldn't hold on to a round. With Uchiha Madara's current strength, where can he stop it? Chapter 378 Fight against Uchiha Madara again. Advertisement. Seeing Uchiha Madara kicking and flying, many people in Uchiha's clan were emotional. If they were allowed to choose between Yujian and Uchiha Madara, they would definitely choose Uchiha Madara as the Hokage of Konoha Hidden Village. Actually, back then, Uchiha Madara wanted to lead everyone out of the village and was betrayed. The main reason was because of the pillars. He is not only full of charisma, but also powerful. He is the god of ninja who can truly bring peace to this ninja world. In the column, these Uchiha ninjas can see their future, hope. However, after Zhu Jian was terminally ill, he began to delegate powers, allowing Fei Jian to become a leader in the true sense. The subsequent series of policies even suppressed the Uchiha clan. In other words, these ninjas of the Uchiha clan finally chose to rebel because of their relationship. Despite the failure of the rebellion, seeds have been planted in their hearts. At this time, I naturally hope that Uchiha Madara can kill the wind. Recast the glory of the Uchiha clan. For a time, the eyes of every Uchiha clan looking at Uchiha Madara flashed. Full of expectation. Of course, although these people expect Uchiha Madara to be able to kill Hefeng, can Uchiha Madara be an opponent of Hefeng? It's another matter. After all, so far, every ninja that Shang Hefeng shot has finally been defeated by Hefeng. Especially the patriarch was beaten by the wind. After the door was kicked out by Madara Uchiha. There is no other obstacle between him and Hefeng. Especially Sarutobi Hizen, seeing these two existences that are enough to be called monsters looked at each other, his most instinctive desire to survive at this moment. The footsteps retreated quickly. At the same time, Sarutobi Hizen held his breath, feeling the terrifying pressure coming like a heat wave. Even if he was worried about the wind in his heart, in such a situation, with his strength, he couldn't get in at all. But, today's Hefeng does not really need anyone to intervene in this battle. Even the opposite. The last thing he wants now is that someone interrupts the fight between him and Uchiha Madara. Gentle. In the next second, Uchiha Madara called out the name of Hefeng, his 5 fingers clenched into a fist, and he hit Hefeng's face with a punch. There is no hesitation or pause. Advertisement. Come on, Madara. Kazuka responded with the same volume, imitating Uchiha Madara's movements with his hands, and he also clenched his fists all at once, facing the opponent. Although Hefeng has just faced several shadow-level powerhouses in succession, his body should be in a state of exhaustion, but his chakra volume is too much. Even that kind of wheel warfare has no effect on Hefeng. In an instant, the gentle breeze burst out of the intercolumn chakra, covering his fist. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. Boom. The deafening noise spread out in all directions. The air was instantly lifted by this force, forming a terrifying air current, expanding out. The ninja who didn't react in time was directly hit by this force. A sharp pain came from his abdomen, his feet left the ground, and all were lifted out. Just physique has such amazing power. This is Uchiha Madara. This is the Senju Japanese style. Bang, bang, bang. The two looked at each other, with no distractions, and without a punch, they continued to attack each other, intersecting their fists and feet. Every punch will collide with an impact, spreading towards the surroundings. Whether it is the ninjas of Konoha Hidden Village or other ninjas, they all have jaw-dropping expressions at this time. Shocked to the extreme. Gentle style. Fei Jian got up from the ground, thinking of rushing to Hefeng's side for the first time, wanting to protect his eldest brother Zuma, who is also his grandson. As a result, after only one glance, he stood on the spot in a daze. The battle between Kazuka's and Uchiha Madara is not only powerful, but also very fast. Even if he was engrossed, he couldn't catch all the moves. Yes, it is. The current Japanese style and Uchiha Madara are so perverted. I'm afraid it is not necessary to have a pair of riding wheels to see what happened. Rao couldn't help but complain about it. With his current strength, he couldn't intervene in the battle between the two of them. And, from the one-by-one movement of the Japanese style, it seems that the shadow between the pillars is gradually seen in the door. Big brother. He rubbed his eyes vigorously, and in an instant, he seemed to really see the pillar. After rubbing his eyes, the picture returned to normal. Advertisement. Boom. Another shock wave burst out between the breeze and the spots. And it was more violent than ever before. This force even separated the two of them directly. Gentle style. Uchiha Madara took a dozen steps backwards before he stood firm, and stared at the 8-year-old monster boy in horror. Previously in Miaomu Mountain, although the physique of the gentle wind made his eyes shine, he was certain that the gentle wind at that time was far inferior to the present. This is simply reborn. Although I have been conscious for a long time, and the breeze has become stronger and stronger, but if I personally experience it, I still feel surprised. Uchiha Madara thought to himself. Result. He was so distracted. When he looked at Hefeng again, it was not Hefeng, an 8-year-old kid, but Sensho Zuma. For a moment, Uchiha Madara's two eyes widened, as if he would jump out of his eye sockets at any time. But soon, Uchiha Madara's sight returned. The person standing there is not a pillar at all, but a gentle breeze. Lei Dun Chakra Mode. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. Chinese MTL fan fiction, second element novel can be read at hotmtl novel for free. And the powerful and perceptual ninjas are even more dumbfounded. Shen Zuo and Jima unanimously answered in the direction of Hefeng, and then, ignoring the 3721, folded their palms together, and began to frantically absorb the chakras around them. At the same time, Hefeng also took advantage of this opportunity to let Shen Zuo and Jima quickly absorb natural energy. After Hefeng entered the fairy mode, he did not hesitate in his actions. With a strong kick on his toes, he rushed out like a swift cheetah. Watching Hefeng release the majestic chakra once again. Hell stab, a consistent hand. He was also dumbfounded. Until it fills the whole body. In full view, Hefeng entered the fairy mode again. He is simply a monster through and through. As the amount of chakra is absorbed, more and more celestial chakras are extracted by the wind. Especially for the next 3 generations of Shui Ying, he chose to surrender, but he has not left the battlefield. We see, little gentleness. Hefeng, an 8-year-old kid, really cannot be treated with common sense. Immediately afterwards, the dazzling blue lei suddenly appeared, covering the whole body of Hefeng. Chapter 379 Reincarnation I. Advertisement. The wind is approaching Uchiha Madara's vitals, and the speed is like a bolt of lightning. So strong Lei Dun. Uchiha Madara's eyes were subtle, staring directly at the wind that was rushing towards him. Even though Uchiha Madara had been in the cracks of hell during this period, he had always paid attention to the affairs of ninja world. He also knows something about the Lei Dun chakra mode developed by these 2 generations of Reikage and his consistent hand. It's just that in the eyes of Uchiha Madara, this has never been a powerful ninjutsu. However, in Hefeng's hands, he had an unprecedented feeling. That is the unique feeling that can only be felt in front of the pillars. A sense of oppression. Unexpectedly, I felt a sense of oppression from Hefeng, an 8-year-old kid. Just kidding. Until now, Uchiha Madara still remembers the Battle of Miaokiyama. Although he didn't kill Hefeng, he has always maintained a high profile. People who feel oppressed and desperate are gentle. Not yourself. How long has passed since then? The situation between the two sides suddenly reversed. Moreover, this time the technique of turning the elephant is even more powerful. Possess half of the chakra volume of the body. Can't let this kid go anymore. All of a sudden, Uchiha Madara's eyes became serious. Yes, it is. Facing the wind that is only 8 years old now. Uchiha Madara has become serious. When Rao was in the 4th Ninja World War while facing the 5 shadows at the same time, Uchiha Madara always had a playful mentality. Not serious at all. Especially that sentence, you have seen that adult will be as familiar as a child. It has become a famous scene in Naruto. Now when I meet Hefeng, a real 8-year-old child, he is extremely serious. I saw Uchiha Madara's eyes quickly changed, and they were directly upgraded to a kaleidoscope writing wheel eye. Next second, the majestic chakra volume burst out from Uchiha Madara's body, rising like a flame, enveloping his whole body. White bones emerge from it, forming a strong absolute defense. However, just this form of Suzuo cannot resist the consistent hand of the wind. His fingers hit Uchiha Madara's body like a bolt of lightning. Rumble. Loud noises spread to the surroundings, deafening. Advertisement. Every ninja in the room just stared at it. No one thought that Hefeng would directly suppress the powerhouse Uchiha Madara. Especially the ninjas of the Uchiha clan were dumbfounded on the spot. No, isn't it? Even Madara is not an opponent of the gentle wind. How is this possible? 2. It's horrible, this kid Hefeng. The ninjas who watched the battle inevitably talked about it. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. Incredibly concerned about the battle between Kazukas and Uchiha Madara. Soon, Uchiha Madara's Susao could not bear it, and cracks began to appear in the place where he was hit by the wind. It spread all over Susao Nohu's whole body in an instant. Even Susanoo can't defend against my current attack. Hefeng looked at the scene in front of him, and couldn't help sighing with emotion. He was only planning to fly Uchiha Madara, but he didn't expect that his consistent hand would be so terrifying. Directly broke the defense of Suzuo Nengu. Probably because I am involved in the relationship of Shanshu Chakra. Hefeng asked and answered questions in his heart, but he didn't plan to be merciful. In fact, Hefeng knew very well that it was impossible for him and Uchiha Madara to reconcile. Boom! Susanoo was shattered and exposed Uchiha Madara in full view. Every ninja present was engrossed, staring at the breeze holding his breath. The ninjas of the Uchiha clan couldn't help but start to get nervous. If even Uchiha Madara, the legendary powerhouse, is not a Japanese opponent, then the glory of their Uchiha clan really no longer exists. Gentle style. The room not far away was dumbfounded. For a long time, he has been suppressing everywhere, and the ninjas of the Uchiha clan are worried that another spot will be born in the Uchiha clan. It is not difficult to see the fear of Uchiha Madara. However, now this mighty enemy, who makes me so jealous and afraid of reappearing, is being suppressed by the gentle wind. This is incredible, right? He blinked his eyes vigorously, seriously whether he had any hallucinations. Otherwise, how to explain it? However, just when everyone thought Uchiha Madara was more or less fierce, his eyes changed again. I saw Uchiha Madara's eyes emitting white light, and swirling lines appeared in it. He put a little harder on his toes and retreated back, trying to keep away from the wind as much as possible when Susanoo was broken. Until his eyes are upgraded again. Reincarnation Eye. This sudden scene made Hefeng fail to respond in time. Moreover, Hefeng's offensive was too swift and violent to stop. Advertisement. Boom. The consistent hand of the wind hits Uchiha Madara's left chest. But the scene of flesh and blood that should have appeared did not appear. On the contrary, the Japanese-style Raiden chakra is being absorbed by Madara Uchiha at a speed visible to the naked eye. In an instant, the consistent hand of the gentle breeze disappeared without a trace. The wind is over. Uchiha Madara's voice was low, and he didn't have the slightest playful mentality this time. And on the contrary, he is very serious and will not show mercy. I saw Uchiha Madara lifted one hand and grabbed it towards Kazuka's neck. Today, he has opened the eyes of reincarnation, and the corresponding ability can be easily used. As long as you are caught by yourself, everything is over. Really, looking at Uchiha Madara's eyes, there was not the slightest fluctuation in Kakazu's mood. As a traverser, he is naturally aware of such things. Moreover, Hefeng prepared a second hand from the beginning. Seeing Uchiha Madara's palm grasping towards him, he disappeared in place with a whistling sound. Surprisingly, the art of flying thunder god. Keep away from Uchiha Madara. And Uchiha Madara's grab was also suddenly lost. Ninjutsu in the door. Uchiha Madara frowned, but he was not surprised. He raised his head again and looked at the breeze. Both sides have spare capacity. Sure enough, Uchiha Madara opened the eyes of reincarnation at this time. No wonder he can use the technique of survivorship. Hefeng muttered in his heart. Now that Uchiha Madara has reincarnation eyes, he can only change his tactics. Otherwise, no matter how strong ninjutsu is, it will not be effective. However, Madara Uchiha has reincarnation eyes, and I also have fairy mode. Plus he is not the main body. Kazuka looked directly at Uchiha Madara without feeling that he would lose at all. Shadow clone technique. He whined hands quickly form a seal. Bang, bang. Two entity clones appeared out of thin air. He did not hesitate to cooperate with the wind, and used the wind escape spiral shuriken. Chapter 380 Your weakness is my existence. Advertisement. Reincarnation Eye. Hefeng and Uchiha Madara quickly moved away from each other, and at the same time used the shadow clone technique. The shadow clone helped to inject chakra's attribute changes, and the spiral pill was upgraded to the wind escape spiral shuriken. However, Hefeng did not make a bold move. As a traverser, he is very clear in his heart, the ability of reincarnation eyes. Shenluo Tianzheng. Vientian Tianyan. Earth burst into the sky. Heart hidden. Sealing technique sucks the mark. Institution armor. Strange wrist rocket. Shira's offense. Wait, it's all powerful ninjutsu. In addition, Uchiha Madara's reincarnation eye has unique abilities. The sky is trembling. Especially the sealing technique sucks the mark, can absorb all ninjutsu. Even the strongest ninjutsu, as long as it can't beat Uchiha Madara, it is meaningless. In the original work, Naruto and Nagato fight against each other by letting Hungry Ghost Dao absorb his own celestial chakra, so that the other party can be petrified. But this kind of thing is based on Nagato's lack of understanding of the immortal model to succeed. In other words, Nagato lost because of insufficient intelligence on the fairy model. But Uchiha Madara is different, he and Senjuzukai fell in love and killed each other. It is impossible for Uchiha Madara to understand all the ninjutsu that can be used between the pillars. Attempting to deal with Uchiha Madara in the same way that he dealt with Hungry Ghosts. Unless Uchiha Madara suddenly drops his mind. Otherwise it is impossible to succeed. Secondly, Madara Uchiha is not comparable to Nagato's character. For a strong man at the level of Uchiha Madara, Nagato is nothing more than a nasty kid. This also means that if you choose to let Uchiha Madara absorb your own celestial chakra, not only does Uchiha Madara do not become frogs, on the contrary, it is possible to gain more powerful power. Even, Uchiha Madara directly enters the fairy mode. If I remember correctly, during the Fourth Ninja World War, Uchiha Madara entered the fairy mode after absorbing the chakra between the pillars. Thinking of this, Hefeng directly threw out the wind escape spiral shuriken. Advertisement. And thought of tactics. The wind escape. Uchiha Madara looked directly at the oncoming wind escape spiral shuriken, and the corners of his mouth raised. Hefeng, are you stupid? Seal of sealing can absorb all ninjutsu. Even if it's your wind ninjutsu, it's no exception. While speaking, Uchiha Madara directly raised his arm, and pointed his palm at the shuriken. Sealing technique sucks the mark. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. Following Uchiha Madara's ability to activate reincarnation eyes, a translucent white light radiated from his hand, resisting the flying wind escape spiral shuriken. Started to absorb Japanese ninjutsu. But, the gentle wind escape spiral shuriken seems to be stronger than it was in Miaomu Mountain. Uchiha Madara muttered to himself. While in Mt. Miyauki, K's used this ninjutsu against Uchiha Madara. But at that time, the wind escape of the wind was directly defended by Madara's Susao. Of course I know you can absorb ninjutsu, Madara. However, seeing Uchiha Madara absorb his ninjutsu, not only did he show no panic, but instead appeared confident and confident. It seems that all of this is in the expectation of the wind. In fact, it is true. You can indeed absorb ninjutsu, but if you want to absorb my ninjutsu, even you can't complete it in an instant. You are now full of flaws, Madara said gently and loudly, and quickly guided his chakra to break through the restrictions in his body. The first door, open the door, open. The second door, close the door, open. ... The seventh door, start the door, open. The two couldn't breathe, and the gentle wind opened 7 of the 8 door dunjia in succession. The body burst out with green energy at first, and his skin turned red due to hyperemia, but then, his green energy was replaced by blue steam. Bang! Hefeng's toes slammed hard and stirred the air around him, producing a loud sonic boom, forming a terrifying airflow, spreading out in all directions. The ground beneath the feet shattered, leaving a spider web-like crack. And Uchiha Madara's sealing technique absorbs only half of the wind escape spiral shuriken. There is no absolutely perfect ninjutsu in this world. Any ninjutsu will have weaknesses and risks. And the weakness of your reincarnation eye is my existence. With a gentle breeze, he shouted loudly at Uchiha Madara, holding his 5 fingers firmly together. A huge sense of oppression rolled towards Uchiha Madara. Advertisement. He couldn't help showing a look of astonishment. You said, my weakness is you. If it were the second person to say this, even if it was the god of ninjutsu at the level of the door, Uchiha Madara would laugh on the spot. But for some reason, Uchiha Madara didn't even feel like laughing when Hefeng said this. Do not. After all, he is just an 8-year-old kid. I came here to solve the peace, but not to let this little devil show his prestige in front of him. It is worth mentioning that if it is the 7th of the ordinary 8-door dunjia, Uchiha Madara's strength. No need to be afraid. Metke is a good example. Even in the 7th door state, he is still not Madara's opponent. However, the current Zephyr is not just as simple as Baman Dunjia. He is now, but the 8-door Dunjia plus the Thunder Dun Chakra mode, as well as the Strange Power and Fairy mode of the Thousand Hands clan. The superposition of so many strengthening skills has increased the strength of Hefeng more than 100 times. Don't be too much stronger than Metke during the Fourth World War. At the critical moment, Uchiha Madara's body can only react. Shen Luo Tianzheng. I saw Uchiha Madara take a deep breath, compress his chakra, and then burst out, forming an invisible gas mask, spreading towards the surroundings. Feeling the power of Uchiha Madara's reincarnation eyes once again, the expression of the wind is still an understatement. He just narrowed his gaze and raised the corner of his mouth. I said, Madara, your weakness is my existence. The moment he finished speaking, he disappeared with a whistling sound. Only a black afterimage was left. Uchiha Madara's Shinra Tensei swept in all directions, directly leveling the grass here. What happened just now? What exactly is that move? There are still spotted eyes, that's definitely not a riding wheel. What the hell is going on? Has Uchiha Madara been improving his strength during the time he disappeared? For a while, all the ninjas who witnessed the battle started talking. Especially the Uchiha clan who are familiar with Shilunian and can no longer be familiar with. They are quite convinced that Uchiha Madara's eyes and power are definitely not the power to write round eyes. But, one thing is something that all are sure of. That is, the current Uchiha Madara is extremely powerful. Even stronger than in the village. Chapter 381 The Sky is Trembling. Advertisement. Shinra Tianzheng can bounce everything close to the caster in an instant. Even ninjutsu such as Amaterasu's Spiral Shuriken. It is invincible. Throughout the plot of Naruto, the battle between Naruto and Pain is the most exciting part. A large part of the relationship is that Pen's ability is too invincible. And Pen's reincarnation eyes are themselves Uchiha Madara's upgraded eyes. This also means that Uchiha Madara, who now uses reincarnation eyes, is more powerful than Nagato even if it is only 50% of the chakra volume. Especially the use of reincarnation eyes. Uchiha Madara's combat thinking and actual combat experience are all crushing Nagato's existence. In addition, Uchiha Madara can switch back and forth between Samsara Eye and Eternal Kaleidoscope. Choose the most suitable ninjutsu for attack and defense. Now seeing Hefeng opening the 8 doors Dunjia rushing behind him, decisively resorted to Shen Luo Tianzheng, pushing out everything around him flat. However, as a traverser, he knows the life of Uchiha Madara quite well. Although the Shenluo Tianzheng is very strong, it is not an invincible ninjutsu. Every time you use the Shenluo Tianzheng, you need at least a 5-second cooldown and cannot be used continuously. If it is Super God Luo Tianzheng, after use, it will fall into a vacuum period of about half an hour. However, it is worth mentioning that for ordinary ninjas, even if they know the cooldown of Shenluo Tianzheng, they cannot play any role in the limited 5-second time. The process of Naruto defeating Pain was even more difficult. However, the current Japanese style can be close to Uchiha Madara within a second without warning. The art of Flying Thunder God. When Kazuka approached Uchiha Madara for the first time, he didn't rush to make a move. Based on his understanding of Madara, he is certain that he will use Shinluo Tianjung to deal with himself. Not to mention 100%, it is also a very high probability. So he left behind the technique of Flying Thunder God for the first time. And Uchiha Madara also noticed that Hefeng had not been resolved by himself at this time. His eyes were wide and he felt a little surprised. Unexpectedly, Hefeng, the kid, could be so fast. Uchiha Madara knew very well in his heart that the technique of Thunder God was a ninjutsu invented. And his younger brother Senna also died of this ninjutsu. There is no doubt that the speed of today's Zephyr has completely surpassed the time. However, Hefeng should not know that Shinluo Tianjung's cooling time is 5 seconds. Advertisement. Uchiha Madara thought to himself. At the same time, he is ready to absorb ninjutsu with seal technique. After seeing that kind of ninjutsu, Uchiha Madara is determined to be gentle and will not come forward easily. As a result, as soon as this thought came out, the afterimage of the Japanese wind remained in place, and his body suddenly appeared in front of Uchiha Madara. Again, read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. Thunder Tiger. Hefeng decisively aimed at Uchiha Madara's abdomen and slammed his fist directly. Rao is a strong man like Uchiha Madara, and he couldn't react in time to face the physique of Japanese style. In fact, the breeze is not only based on the day tiger, but also as simple as injecting the Lei Dun chakra attributes. It has taken the fairy mode to its extreme, and forced out the frog team, an invisible attack method. When Uchiha Madara reacted, waves of tigers echoed in his ears. The chakra gas bomb with the Thunder Dunge attribute blasted Uchiha Madara out on the spot. All the people present took a breath, and slowly opened their mouths to form a big, O, shape. Well, what's the situation? Uchiha Madara was beaten by K's. Just kidding, Madara is the strongest Uchiha, and his eyes are obviously stronger. As a result, he is not the opponent of the 8-year-old Japanese style. Why doesn't Uchiha Madara use the ninjutsu just now? Isn't he unable to react to the attack from the wind? Konoha ninja talked a lot, marveling at the scene that came into view. For ninjas who didn't know that Shinra Tianjung had a cooling time, there was only one possibility for their understanding. That is the current speed of the Japanese wind, completely surpassing Uchiha Madara. It will happen that he is too late to react, or is unable to react. This also means that the current Japanese style is stronger than Uchiha Madara. An 8-year-old kid who has become stronger than Uchiha Madara. Rao was stunned at this time, and it was difficult to accept the facts in front of him. Although he is the second grandfather of the Japanese style, he also hopes that Uchiha Madara can be defeated or even killed. But no one knows how strong Uchiha Madara's strength is now. At least that's what I feel in the interim. That's why when Uchiha Madara appeared for the first time, he thought about protecting the Japanese wind. Because in his cognition, the strength of Japanese wind is not as powerful as Uchiha Madara. However, the cognition in the front is completely subverted by the picture in front of you. Advertisement. Gentle. Need your own protection there. It was probably the greatest help to him if he didn't go over and drag him back. Gentle style. Looking directly at the wind, I felt emotional inside. Sure enough, you are the Thousand Hands clan. No, the most terrifying genius in the history of the ninja world. Said emotionally. And Uchiha Madara was directly pushed hundreds of meters by the Thunder Tiger released by the gentle wind to grab the ground with his head. Very embarrassed. After all, Hefeng's current moves are based on physical skills. The sealing technique of the Eyes of Reincarnation sucks marks, and it can't absorb the attacks of the wind. But just when K's intends to continue his shot and defeat Uchiha Madara. He clenched his fists with both hands, and his anger rose. And the embarrassed Uchiha Madara stood up from the ground at this time. Moreover, he remembered that he had just clocked in, so logically speaking, he should have to wait for a while before he could continue to clock in. Although Hefeng's physical skills are very strong, with Uchiha Madara's strength, he was not killed on the spot. Did you trigger the special punch card again? Uchiha Madara quickly forms seals on both hands. Tianjin shakes the stars. Thinking of this, Kazuka's eyes narrowed slightly, staring at Uchiha Madara's move. His consciousness was directly in his mind, and he started punching the clock this time. Look at the breeze again. Okay. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. Chinese MTL fan fiction, second element novel can be read at hotmtl novel for free. However, Uchiha Madara is extremely angry now. In an instant, a huge shadow enveloped the entire Konoha hidden village. In his ear, a familiar voice suddenly remembered. Hefeng thought to himself, but he didn't continue to delve into it. It's good to be able to punch in anyway. Hearing the sound in his ears, Hefeng couldn't help but startled, but he didn't expect that he could punch the card at this moment. If that's the case, let's die together, gentle breeze. Congratulations to the host on the end of the cooling time, whether to start punching the card now. Close black lens bracket. Chapter 382. It seems I can only be serious. Advertisement. The sky is shaking the stars. Uchiha Madara directly used the power of the reincarnation eye to summon the meteorite in the sky. A huge shadow enveloped the entire Konoha hidden village. What Uchiha clan, what everything created between the pillars. What village? At this moment, Uchiha Madara didn't pay attention to all of them. Even, including himself. The attack range of the obstacle vibrator is very huge, and even the current Uchiha Madara cannot avoid the attack range of the obstacle vibration star in a short time. But, he doesn't need to avoid it. Anyway, Uchiha Madara who appeared here was not his body either. It's just an entity clone of the technique of turning the elephant. Even if it was destroyed by the heavenly impediment shock, it would not have any effect on Uchiha Madara's body. The key is, if it is relying on the technique of Flying Thunder God, or the 8-door Dunjia. With the strength of the gentle wind, you can stay away from here. Not be affected by the aftermath of the tremor. However, in this way, every ninja present will die here. Hefeng's partners, subordinates, and family. If you can't give up everything, you can't be the strongest person. Uchiha Madara folded his hands on his chest, and said in a low voice. This is the most profound thing he has learned in the Valley of the End. This kind of emotion will only hold him back. It's over, gentle breeze. In Uchiha Madara's eyes, even the current Japanese style could not stop his ninjutsu. Everything is over, and the ninjas on the ground noticed the huge shadow that enveloped them one after another. This is something that will never happen under the clear sky. An inexplicable sense of fear spontaneously made these ninjas look up and look towards the sky. That is, meteorite, grunt. The ninja who witnessed this scene couldn't help but roll his throat and swallowed nervously. Is this the power of God? This kind of power is far beyond the scope of ninjutsu, right? The ninjas talked a lot. Their perception of ninjutsu, strength, and power. It was completely broken and subverted at this moment. They didn't know that Uchiha Madara was very strong. After all, he was a man who could become an enemy of Senjujuma, the ninja god. However, advertisement. They didn't even dream of it. Uchiha Madara's power is so powerful. Even meteorites in the sky can be easily summoned by him. The strength gap between the two sides is not a level at all. Can't stop it. For a time, all the ninjas who tried to resist Uchiha Madara released their palms one after another. All kinds of ninjas landed in response. Crackling. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. An expression of despair appeared on every ninja's face. It seems that he has chosen to accept his fate. Yes, it is. Facing the power displayed by Uchiha Madara, these ninjas were completely desperate. There is no desire to resist at all. I can't resist. I didn't expect Uchiha Madara's power to be so exaggerated. Is the fate of the Misty Village really going to end here? The next 3 generations of Shui Ying face the sky, clenching his fists with both hands. He wanted to stop all of this, but even he didn't know how to stop this. Or, the next 3 generations of Mizukage knew very well that they would stop Uchiha Madara's tremor. But sadly, he didn't have enough power to crack Uchiha Madara's ninjutsu. The strength between the two parties is too far apart. As Uchiha Madara now so strong, Feijian looked at the sky incredibly. In the Battle of the Valley of the End, I have been secretly observing the battle between the pillars and Uchiha Madara. Even though Uchiha Madara at that time was quite a terrifying powerhouse. But compared to the present, they are nothing like two people. Especially his eyes, gentle style. Feijian chanted the name of Hefeng, and at the same time turned to look at this 8-year-old grandson. The falling speed of the obstacle star is not fast. But the scope is huge, it can be said that it directly covers the entire Konoha hidden village. If you let it fall, everything here will be directly razed to the ground by this power. By that time, it is very likely that there will be no more living entities. But, when I looked towards Hefeng, I found that this little devil, who was only 8 years old, had a face of determination at this time. As if, it wasn't the first time I saw such a terrifying power of the sky impediment earthquake. This kind of calm and composed attitude is surprising. In any case, Hefeng is only 8 years old. Advertisement. It is impossible for him to have seen such a scene. Especially his eyes. It's like when the pillars are serious. In addition, Hefeng exudes extremely strong confidence and a strong aura from all over his body. He wants, stop the heavens from shaking the stars. This kind of thing is simply amazing. I didn't expect that I would be here to learn about Uchiha Madara's heavenly obstacle. Hefeng thought to himself. As a traverser, he is quite familiar with Uchiha Madara's ninjutsu. He still remembers that Uchiha Madara used this ninjutsu to make the ninja coalition into despair during the Fourth Ninja World War. If it hadn't been for Onogi to regain himself, cooperate with Gaara and take over Uchiha Madara's ninjutsu. At that time, the ninja coalition army was afraid that all groups would be destroyed. It stands to reason that at this time, using the technique of Thunder God is the clearest choice. Even the most powerful ninjutsu, as long as it can't attack the target, it doesn't make any sense. The same is true of the tremor of the sky. If you use the technique of Flying Thunder God, you can be sure of the breeze and stay away from the center of the explosion. But in that way, although I have someone familiar with it, Shujian, Mito, etc., all will die here. If there is only oneself left in this world, then what is the use of having stronger power? Presumably, Uchiha Madara recognized this, so he took action. Hefeng muttered to himself, but the corners of his mouth rose up, showing no signs of pressure. In that case, come on. I will do the things that Onoki can't do easily. Hefeng's eyes became firm. This time, he no longer retains his strength. The two eyes changed rapidly. A red 6-pointed star pattern emerged. It's just kaleidoscope right round eyes. Immediately afterwards, the majestic chakra burst out from the body of the wind, and rose into the sky, as if a purple flame enveloping the wind. Next second, this chakra began to materialize, forming a huge body of the god of war. Surprisingly, it is completely necessary to be able to do so. Two huge wings spread to the left and right. Bang! Accompanied by a loud noise, Susao Nengu's feet pushed hard, and his huge body rose to the sky, and went straight to the tremor of the sky that Uchiha Madara summoned. He wants to use his own power to stop this time. The ninjas present were stunned. Chapter 383 Separate the meteorite with one knife. Advertisement. Gentle style. Seeing Suzuo's gentle breeze once again, Feijian's mood can't help but feel a little complicated. On the one hand, the future destiny of the village now depends on whether the wind can stop Uchiha Madara's tremor. On the other hand, I have sworn to Hefeng, no matter what happens in the future, I will definitely protect him. But now, how much time has passed since I said this sentence? Less than a year. Hefeng's strength has undergone earth-shaking changes. With his current strength, he couldn't intervene in the battle between Uchiha Madara and Kase. Now he can only cheer for the peace in his heart. Not to mention other ninjas. In their eyes, Hefeng is no longer an ordinary 8-year-old kid. It's a monster through and through. But it is undeniable that, if you say, who else can stop Uchiha Madara's ninjutsu? Then, only Hefeng can do it. Hefeng is unexpectedly, yet has hidden strength. The next 3 generations of Shui Ying stared at the figure of Hefeng and his Suzuo Nohu, dumbfounded. After defeating 3 shadow-level powerhouses in a row, Hefeng still has such a huge amount of chakra. This guy's body, shouldn't it really be a bottomless pit? And his ninjutsu. Grunt. The next 3 generations of Shui Ying swallowed nervously. In his opinion, the Susao Nogu that Hefeng uses now is more exaggerated and terrifying than any ninjutsu he used before. The level of strength is simply incomparable. This guy is a monster. Looking at Hefeng's back, the next 3 generations of Shui Ying secretly vowed in his heart. When he returns to Wuyin village, he must convince the daimyo of Water Country and the elders of Wuyin village. Never be an enemy of Konoha Hidden Village. It's not an opponent of the gentle wind at all. Of course, the prerequisite for all this is whether the wind can stop Uchiha Madara's ninjutsu. Otherwise, they will all die here. In the scene, there is probably only Uchiha Madara, one of the few men who maintains his composure. The purpose of his appearance this time is precisely to eliminate the wind. As long as he can accomplish this, any price is acceptable to him. Losing a mere clone of the phenomenon transformation technique is nothing at all. Advertisement. I saw Uchiha Madara hugging his chest with both hands, raising his head to look at the wind, his eyes condensed slightly. Gentle style. Madara Uchiha chanted the name of Japanese style. I can't help feeling full of emotions in my heart. If Kase is a ninja of the Uchiha clan, he will definitely become a ninja beyond me. Although the two sides have different positions, different camps, and different ideals, they have different talents and strengths for the wind. Uchiha Madara has always recognized it. Otherwise, he wouldn't use the technique of the elephant turn, and he would appear here at the cost of exposing himself. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. But it is precisely because of this that he regards the gentle breeze as a seed that cannot be left behind. Whoosh. For a while, Hefeng and his Suzuo Nohu suddenly became the focus of everyone's eyes. Shen Zuo, Shima and Hefeng maintained a fusion state, standing on his left and right shoulders. With a nervous look, he stared at the huge meteorite nervously. Little Hefeng, are you really sure? Shen Zuo couldn't help asking. It was the first time he had seen a ninjutsu like Tianan Zhengxing. I was shocked to the extreme. In his opinion, Uchiha Madara is invincible. The kid's father, Ji-ma, couldn't help showing a somewhat embarrassed expression. Although it has a good relationship with Hefeng, in its eyes, this behavior is almost the same as sending death. Now we can only choose to believe in the small harmony. Shen Zuo could hear Ji-ma's worries. However, it is very clear in its heart that the most important key is not whether the gentle wind can stop the tremor of the sky. It's whether you can beat Uchiha Madara. As long as Uchiha Madara is still there, the ninja world will not be peaceful and peaceful. Rao is their wonderful wood mountain, and can't stay out of it. Now they have no choice but to believe in the breeze. Hefeng directly ignored Shen Zuo and Ji-ma, even the ninjas on the ground. All were left behind by the current peace. He raised his head and stared at the oncoming heavenly obstacle star. This huge meteorite is falling. His own Suzuo can almost soar into the sky. The distance between the two parties is rapidly shortening. Suddenly, the wind moved. His Suzuo Nengu immediately reacted, pulling out the Chakrata sword on his waist, aiming at the meteorite in the sky, and slashing it out. A majestic sword oar upwards and horizontally, facing the giant meteorite. Rumble. The loud noise was deafening and spread out in all directions. Advertisement. The air was stirred, transformed into a shock wave of terror, swept toward the ground. The ninjas on the ground use various methods to protect themselves. But there is no doubt that they are still paying attention to Hefeng's every move. Especially the two powerhouses Yujian and Uchiha Madara. In their eyes, there is only gentle breeze. And at this moment, one after another held their breath, even their eyes couldn't bear to blink. However, even if a meteorite falls this day, it cannot resist the current power of the wind. The majestic sword energy only took a few breaths before passing through the meteorite. Divide this meteorite summoned by Uchiha Madara into two. Next second, Susao Noshi wielded super high swordsmanship and slashed the meteorite into countless small pieces. Magnetic escape dust. Immediately afterwards, the gentle breeze screamed again, and waves and sea-like placer gold rose from the ground, like big hands, to catch all the falling meteorite fragments. Not only prevented Uchiha Madara's meteorite from falling from the sky, it also protected every ninja present. The most important thing is that during the whole process, Hefeng did not show how strenuous it was. The sky is trembling, but that's it. Hefeng felt the power of Susao no Hu just now. He originally thought that with his current strength, it would be more complicated. I didn't expect it to be so easy. Original. Uchiha Madara, is that weak? Hefeng's heart could not help but murmur. I have always been regarded as a boss, and I can't help but be a little jealous. Is his true strength so weak? Are you kidding me? For a while, Hefeng couldn't help looking at Madara with a horrified expression. And below, after witnessing the tremor of the sky under the windshield, he cheered. Especially Yujian and Uchiha Madara. Both of them were stunned at this moment. Somewhat at a loss. What kind of monster is Hefeng, an 8-year-old kid? Why is it so strong? Is that a lie? He took a breath, and was shocked again. Uchiha Madara stood on the spot, not knowing what to say for a while. Hefeng, an 8-year-old kid, is outrageous in TM. It's too ridiculous. Heiju, who was observing secretly, was directly stunned. Chapter 384 Check-in again. Eternal Kaleidoscope. Advertisement. See the amazing performance of the Japanese style. Highway, who was hiding in the dark, was immediately stunned. The current breeze is too strong. Even the meteorite falling from the sky can be easily destroyed by him. This kid perfectly inherited the power of the 6 immortals. Seeing the complete body Susanna Nengu standing in the sky, 6 immortals could not help but appear in Heiju's mind. Hefeng's talent is simply more terrifying than the 6 immortals. For the first time, Heiju felt a little flustered. For a long time, he has been hiding behind the scenes of shinobi, calculating everything and guiding everything. All ninjas are just pawns in his eyes. And he is a chess player who deduces the trend of the board. Do not. Heiju shook his head abruptly, putting away his shock at Hefeng's strength, but his heart was slow to calm down. Uchiha Madara also stood still on the spot, without responding for a long time. Well, the crisis is temporarily lifted. The wind was condescending, and looking at the situation below, Uchiha Madara's sky obstacle did not cause any casualties. Check in first, Hefeng thought in his heart, and simply started to punch in. Check in front of Uchiha Madara. Congratulations to the host for getting the check-in package, whether to open it now. Close black lens bracket. Yes, Hefeng nodded slightly and confirmed in his mind. As for the clock-in process, the current Japanese style is already familiar and can no longer be familiar. Soon, the punch card gift package was opened directly, and various abilities and rewards flashed in front of the wind. Eventually freeze on a certain reward. Congratulations to the host for the reward. Eternal Kaleidoscope LV10. Close black lens bracket. Zephyr. Hefeng was stunned when he heard the familiar and kind voice. He never dreamed that he would suddenly draw the Eternal Kaleidoscope to right around eye. Hefeng once thought that he might have missed the Eternal Kaleidoscope for several years or decades. In fact, several times before Hefeng, I made strong wishes in my heart. Don't hesitate to sacrifice Uchiha Madara's lifespan to let yourself be the emperor once. Unfortunately, he couldn't get what he wanted most. However, the current Japanese style only wants to complete the punch card faster, get rewards, improve strength, and defeat Uchiha Madara. For the content of this reward, Hefeng has no idea in his mind. As a result, it was easy to get the Eternal Kaleidoscope writing round eyes. Advertisement. Is this the so-called unintentional insertion of willows into the willow? Hefeng thought to himself. However, being able to draw the Eternal Kaleidoscope to right round eyes naturally makes the mood of the gentle breeze extremely excited. Although compared with other ninjutsu, Eternal Kaleidoscope is not the strongest one. But it can erase the biggest weakness of Hefeng today. After using the writing wheel eye power again, there will be no more load. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. Not only that, but the power of the breeze also raised another level. Hefeng's eyes changed rapidly. Upgrade from a kaleidoscope to an eternal kaleidoscope. The full body Suzuo Nangu, the momentum has more than doubled. And Uchiha Madara at the bottom also quickly noticed this scene, his eyes widened, and an unbelievable expression emerged. With the reincarnation eye, his eyesight is unmatched. Even at a distance of hundreds of meters from Hefeng, he can easily see the changes in Hefeng's eyes. Those eyes are the kaleidoscope of eternal marks. According to Madara Uchiha's upgrade, and the wind's writing wheel eyes, it is indeed upgraded from a kaleidoscope to an eternal kaleidoscope. But, why? Why is it like this? If you want to unlock the eternal kaleidoscope, don't you have to transplant your brother's eyes to do it? And Kase is not a member of the Uchiha clan at all. He is the grandson of the Thousand Hands clan, between the pillars. The kaleidoscope writing round eyes alone is already very outrageous. As a result, now, he has directly awakened the eternal kaleidoscope. It's too ridiculous. This kind of thing is no longer a question of talent. It is simply to make the impossible possible. In a sense, what Hefeng is doing now has completely subverted his perception of Shaolin. 1. The strongest of the Uchiha Madara clan. A ninja who knows the basics of Shaolin Yan and can upgrade Shaolin Yan to Samsara Eye. Hefeng, an 8-year-old kid, overturned his cognition. This kind of thing undoubtedly caused stormy waves in Uchiha Madara's heart, and he couldn't calm down for a long time. Spot. Hefeng quickly adapted to these eyes. He yelled at Uchiha Madara, flapped the wings of Susanoo, and went straight to Uchiha Madara. When the ninjas on the ground saw the wind swooping down, they retreated one after another, trying to stay away from the current wind. Advertisement. Get out of here. The breeze is coming. For a time, whether it was Yenian Village, Cheyenne Village, or Wuyin Village and Muyayan Village's ninjas, they reached a tacit understanding at this moment. Turn away from the breeze and follow the spot. Gentle style. Watching the wind swooping down from the door, both eyes were big, like bull's eyes. The aura bursting from Hefeng's body, like a heat wave, hits his face. Rao, the god of ninjutsu, was forced back a few steps by the gentle aura. It is no exaggeration to say that in the eyes of Feijian, Hefeng's current strength. Undoubtedly beyond the pillars. He, the wind, the 8-year-old ninja god. Gentle. Uchiha Madara suddenly screamed, and chakra erupted on his body as well, and he completed the materialization in an instant, forming a terrifying Valkyrie body. Suzuo Nengu. The two Susanonhis are all hundreds of meters high. Full of momentum. No one flinched in the slightest. I saw Uchiha Madara's Susanoo spread his palms, and the blue chakra emerged, forming a blue go jade. The diameter is extremely large, as exaggerated as hundreds of meters. And Hefeng also entered the counterattack at this time. Yan Dun, add fate. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. Chinese MTL fan fiction, second element novel can be read at hotmtl novel for free. The Guyu thrown by Uchiha Madara instantly split into two. Yes it is. I saw the windy Suzuo swiftly swinging his sword, and a black sword light crisscrossed out. Like a shuriken, it was thrown directly by Susanoo. Now, Hitomi Amaterasu and Hefeng can be released at will. Not only that, this sword light cut down and directly split Uchiha Madara's Susanoo into two. Uchiha Madara's eyes widened, and the whole person was silly. In an instant, the gentle Susanoo drew out the Chakrata sword, and black flames spread out from his palm, covering the Chakrata sword. Expose him, the strongest boss in the ninja world, on the spot. After upgrading to the Eternal Kaleidoscope, the gentle breeze will use the power of these eyes without any side effects. Eternal Kaleidoscope not only completely erased the greatest price of the gentle wind, but also repaired the damage caused by his previous use of the kaleidoscope to right the wheel. Boom. Not only that, his vision became clearer than before. Chapter 385 Uchiha Madara, this is it. Advertisement. The gentleman Susao is stronger than me. Uchiha Madara was startled when he saw his Susanoo being split in two. Although the current self is an entity clone under the technique of Shangzhuan, only 50% of the body's chakra volume is needed, but the strength does not need to be questioned. The tremor of the sky just now, if it wasn't for the gentle breeze. Enough to kill all the ninjas present in an instant. Including the god of ninjutsu like this. Is Uchiha Madara weak? No one would think so. Because it is impossible that Uchiha Madara is weak, but the strength of the 8-year-old Kazuka is too strong. Is it the technique of revolving the elephant again? And Hefeng quickly realized this. According to his cognition, Uchiha Madara is a bit weak now. Although he is almost at his peak now, his true strength is only a level stronger than that before Sasuke met the six-way immortals. There is still a slight gap between Uchiha Madara in full power. This is a fact, Hefeng knows well, but now, facing the Uchiha Madara in front of him, he not only didn't feel the slightest pressure. On the contrary, he even felt that Uchiha Madara was almost similar to those shadows. They are far inferior to who they are now. If it is said that those shadows only have the strength of shinobu, then Uchiha Madara is at the level of elite shinobu. And for myself who has the strength of the shadow class. Whether it is Shangnan or elite Shangnan, there is no difference at all. It's like the time when Bofeng Shuaman and Dato and Kakashi played against each other. It just takes a little more time. And Uchiha Madara in the Japanese impression is not so weak at all. Thinking about it, there is only one truth. That is, the current Uchiha Madara is not his body at all. Spot. Thinking of this, Kazuka emphasized loudly towards Uchiha Madara. You should recognize the gap between us now. Only relying on the physical avatar like the technique of turning the image is not my opponent at all. And I'm tired of this kind of trick. If you really want to deal with me, come here in person. Otherwise, this technique will only waste your chakras and waste your life. Having said that, Hefeng controlled the Chakrata sword again and chopped down towards Uchiha Madara. When he was fighting Uchiha Madara, Kazuo was also looking forward to this battle. However, advertisement. The more he fights against Uchiha Madara, the more he loses his mentality. Because he suddenly discovered that the man he regarded as a threat had no power at all. When he played against those shadows, he felt exactly the same. Gentle style. However, even though the art of Zhang Zhuan is only an entity clone, it is also Uchiha Madara's will. He has the memory and experience of Uchiha Madara. Only in terms of chakra quantity, it cannot be compared with Uchiha Madara's ontology. Now that Hefeng said that, Uchiha Madara's heart was naturally shocked. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. If he hadn't seen it with his own eyes, he wouldn't believe it at all. It would have been said by an 8-year-old kid. And he can't refute it yet. Because with his current strength, he is indeed not an opponent of the wind. The battle with Miaomu Mountain was completely different. The reason why Hefeng escaped the danger was because of his lack of chakra. However, this time, he was not strong enough. For a moment, Uchiha Madara could not help clenching his teeth. Really an annoying kid. But Uchiha Madara didn't just sit still. In any case, he is the spot. Facing the oncoming chakra Tachi, Uchiha Madara concentrated the chakra volume, covering his whole body, and then burst out with all his strength. Shen Luo Tianzheng, accompanied by his loud shout, the invisible shock wave spread to the surroundings. Abruptly, the fallen chakra was resisted by the sword, letting it hang in the air. However, it is only that. He didn't fly out the gentle Chakrata sword. Shen Luo Tianzheng is invalid for the wind. One can imagine how strong the current breeze is. Give up, Uchiha Madara, your Shinra Tensei is not invincible at all. The breeze spoke again, not to mention the Fourth Ninja War, when Naruto mastered the Nine Tails mode. It was when Pen invaded Konoha. In the face of Naruto running rampant, Pen's Shinra Tianzheng lost its effect. Although Uchiha Baba is stronger than Nagato, he is also more proficient in the use of Shinra Tensho. But his own Susanna is much more powerful than Kyuubi. It's better to say, it takes Kyuubi and Naruto to join forces to be able to compare with the current Susanoo. And, advertisement. This is just Susanoo. A mortal mode or something, has not been put in it. Boom. Along with the loud noises, Uchiha Madara's Shinra Tensei was directly destroyed by the wind's Susanoo. The shock wave spread to the surroundings, sending countless ninjas flying away. It is no exaggeration to say that this shock wave spread to most of the Shinobu village in an instant. Therefore, all the ninjas who witnessed this scene took a breath and were dumbfounded. What is this? What terrifying power? The gentle breeze is too outrageous. Uchiha Madara is not a Japanese opponent. For a time, all the ninjas who witnessed this battle talked about it. Especially the ninjas of the Uchiha clan, they naturally hope that Uchiha Madara can win this battle. Beat the breeze. However, it now appears that Uchiha Madara is indeed stronger than when he left the village. But there is still a gap between it and the wind. In this battle, the outcome is already very obvious. But, there was a detail that caught the attention of the Uchiha clan. Those who have a writing wheel do not need to hear what others are saying. You can get information just by looking at someone's lips. I can't help feeling a bit disappointed in my heart. The deafening sound impacted everyone's ear canal. The sharp edge hit the ground even more, setting off huge smoke and dust. Hefeng, his eyes narrowed, looked at Uchiha Madara who had lost the battle. His own Shenluo Tianzheng was actually ineffective against Hefeng's attacks. Rumble. With a sudden drop of the sword, chakra directly cut off half of Uchiha Madara's body. This kind of thing is too exaggerated. In shock, the Uchiha clan also had many questions. Uchiha Madara is not the main body. So weak. Uchiha Madara wanted to absorb the Japanese wind by using the sealing technique to absorb the wind, but he was a step late. Uchiha Madara's elephant turning technique. Uchiha Madara almost collapsed in his heart. What is the technique of elephant turning? Swept out to the surroundings. Uchiha Madara's eyes stared at the message, and it was hard to believe what was in front of him. Chapter 386 Kill Uchiha Madara. Advertisement. Seeing Hekka's flicked with one hand, Chakrata sword slammed Uchiha Madara's abdomen. Pouch. Blood spurted from behind Uchiha Madara, and the body was directly penetrated by the Japanese Chakrata sword. Yan Dun spreads all over Uchiha Madara's body. It's over, Madara. The gentle wind made a low voice, giving Uchiha Madara no chance to fight back. With a strong pick, Uchiha Madara's body was directly divided into two. Neither the Shenluo Tianzheng nor the sealing technique can stop the current breeze. The difference in strength between the two sides is not even a star at all. Gentle style. Uchiha Madara clenched his teeth, and his heart was full of unwillingness. However, he was just helpless if he was only using the technique of turning the image. As Hefeng said, want to deal with him now, it is not a phenomenon of turning around at all, or it can be solved by an entity clone. Hefeng today is no longer the one in Miamu Mountain. Uchiha Madara's body was swallowed little by Amaterasu, and burned out. Every ninja present couldn't help but breathe a sigh of relief. Shocked by the strength of the Japanese style. Especially the ninjas of the Uchiha clan. Their mentality at this time is completely broken. Especially those ninjas who inherited Uchiha Madara's will. Seeing the power displayed by the Japanese wind, I feel desperate. Hefeng, this kid, is there really that ninja who will be his opponent? I think it should not be anymore, he is simply the new ninja god. The crowd did not know who exclaimed. And these words spread out to the surrounding like ripples. Soon, more and more people agreed with these words. Hefeng is the new ninja god in this era. After the Senjuan, another super strong. Not only easily shocked other shinobu villages, it also stopped Uchiha Madara's ambitions. Especially the tremor that made them feel desperate for a while. It is easily resolved by the gentle breeze. Without any exaggeration. Uchiha Madara's strong appearance instantly turned into a Japanese wedding dress. Set off his strength. The most important thing is that the last hand of Hefeng is an enhanced version of the technique of Amaterasu. Yan Dun. Uchiha Madara who came to attack. Everything in the world can be burned out. Advertisement. Leave nothing. This kind of direct combat method has undoubtedly subverted the cognition of these people. It seems that Konoha Hidden Village has indeed given birth to a super monster. The next 3 generations of Shui Ying muttered to herself, saying that she was not jealous or envious at all. It was obviously impossible. Even, there was a bit of hatred in his heart. Why hate and wind were born in Konoha? Why the strong are born in Konoha? Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. It seems that this world has been moving around Konoha Yin Village all the time. They hide in the fog village, it's like a shadowy existence. Forget it. Thinking of this, the next 3 generations of Shui Ying shook his head helplessly. In this situation, he couldn't change much. It is better to bring more ninjas from the Hidden Mist village, return to the village, and end this farce-like war as soon as possible. At the same time, as the god of ninjutsu, Jian also looked at the 8-year-old Japanese style. Gentle style. He was chanting the name of the Japanese style, and his heart was mixed for a while, and he didn't know what to say. On the one hand, Hefeng's defeat of Uchiha Madara made him ecstatic. But on the other hand, it was the first time he saw Uchiha Madara's reincarnation eyes. And that power shocked him for a while. If it is not a gentle breeze, it is very likely that he will die on the spot. Do not. It's not just one's own life. The whole village of horror will disappear. Thanks to the wind, I just didn't know that Uchiha Madara would make a comeback next time. Fei Jian murmured to himself, although he did not write round eyes, his observational power was amazing. Especially the battle between Kase and Uchiha Madara. One is his grandson, and the other is regarded by him as the biggest threat to the village. No details will be missed. The sentence that Kazu emphasized, Uchiha Madara is the technique of Zodiac. I also heard clearly. This means, that guy Uchiha Madara is still alive. He has never been a person who is willing to give up, and next time, he will definitely show more power than he is now. While whispering, he slowly raised his hands, narrowed his eyes, and looked down. I found my hands trembling constantly, not knowing when they started. Do not. In fact, I was very clear in my heart. Advertisement. It was when Uchiha Madara made a high-profile appearance. In his heart, he was afraid. He was afraid of Uchiha Madara's strength. I am also afraid that I will lose the breeze in the village. Uchiha Madara. However, Fei Jian's heart also possesses an extremely powerful big heart. He quickly adjusted his emotions, as if speaking to Uchiha Madara who was observing here in secret. It also seems to be telling myself. In any case, I won't let you succeed. Whether it's the wind or the village, I will take care of it, and I will guarantee it in the name of 1,000 hands. At the same time, after defeating Madara Uchiha, the Susanoo who wrapped the Japanese wind began to quickly dissipate. It disappeared soon. There is also the fairy model, as well as the fusion with Shen Zuo and Jima. Also lifted. However, Shen Zuo and Jima did not return directly to Konoha Yin village. Instead, he looked at Hefeng with a worried look. The two of them couldn't help but take a breath. They saw Uchiha Madara like this once in MT. Myoki. The important thing is that Kase also said that this time Uchiha Madara is not the main body. It's a ninjutsu called the Shunjishu. They are all entity clones, but they are more advanced than Mudun clones and Shadow clones. As long as Uchiha Madara is alive, he will always make a comeback. Find out the flaws in the wind and the chance to destroy Konoha. Do not worry. Hefeng quickly noticed the changes in Shen Zuo and Shima's expressions. Know what they are worried about. With my current strength, even Uchiha Madara can't necessarily win. No matter how bad it is, there is also the art of Flying Thunder God. From Hefeng's point of view, as long as he has the skill of Flying Thunder God, he can almost be invincible. There is nothing to worry about because of Uchiha Madara. But there is always a solution to a problem. Okay. Seeing the gentle breeze exuding incomparable confidence, Shen Zuo and Jima couldn't say anything. By the way, Xiao Hefeng is indeed the ninja I have seen in my life. I am the most talented and hardworking ninja. Shen Zuo couldn't help but complain in his heart, but after all, he didn't say it. In this way, after the battlefield was over, Shensaku bid farewell to Zima and Hefeng, and invited him to visit Miaomu Mountain if he had time. Then, the two toads disappeared in the white mist with a bang. Hefeng turned around and looked towards the door. Chapter 387 Heiju was dumbfounded. Advertisement. Between hell, Uchiha Madara's face turned pale. Although the technique of Shangjuan is a physical clone, it is more advanced than the Mudun clone and the Shadow clone. Even Uchiha Madara doesn't need this ninjutsu to be relieved and disappears. You can know everything by yourself. When his clone went to Konoha Hidamura, the real Uchiha Madara paid attention to the overall situation. And according to his guess, it was only half of his own chakra. Enough to wipe out the wind. However, it still ended in failure. The principle of failure is very different from the last time. At the time at Miaomu Mountain, my body was in a weak state. About 30% of the chakra volume used to create the clone of the art of rotation is already my limit. Uchiha Madara muttered to himself. This is mainly related to his character. Even during the Fourth Ninja World War, he was like this. In the face of 5 shadows teaming up, he still couldn't be serious. Except for the god of ninjas, Senjujuma, there is no ninja who can make Uchiha Madara show real strength as soon as they meet. Most of the time, he held a casual attitude. The same goes for fighting with the wind. It is precisely because of this kind of mentality that the technique of Shangjuan did not pay attention to the chakra volume at the most critical moment. As a result, the clone disappeared directly, and the gentle breeze was released. Otherwise, the gentle breeze at the time might not die directly in Miaomu Mountain. After learning the lesson, this time Uchiha Madara directly used 50% of the chakra. And the technique of Shangjuan also showed a serious mentality. In the end, he never expected that he would fight against the wind again, and the result would be a disastrous defeat. A disastrous mess. Gentle style. Uchiha Madara's eyes inevitably became resentful, and he gritted his teeth and said the name of Japanese style. If it wasn't for the body to allow it, he would now wish to run over and fight with the wind desperately. Especially what this kid said at the end. Not only did he understand the subject turning technique, he even offered to let my ontology go directly to him. Uchiha Madara couldn't help feeling angry. But helpless. He thought he could get rid of the breeze this time. Let your Moon Eye project develop according to the original idea. And his writing wheel. This is something Uchiha Madara never thought of. Advertisement. Hefeng told Fei Jian that his writing wheel was transplanted from Uchiha Setsuna. Although he didn't know why he believed it, he obviously didn't believe it. As the patriarch of the Uchiha clan, would Uchiha Madara not know about the transplantation of Shariwanyan? Do not. He knows. Not only did he know, but he knew very clearly. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. For outsiders like Hefeng, the chance of success in transplanting Zhuanyan is very slim. And he doesn't know how to operate. It's enough to be exaggerated just to get the writing wheel. It's still Uchiha Setsuna's writing wheel eyes. Although that guy is a radical who inherited my will, he has no talent. Even if he is allowed to practice for another 10 years, it is impossible to open the kaleidoscope. That level of eyes can be successful with Hefeng. Stop dreaming. But, I really want Uchiha Madara to find a reasonable explanation, he can't find it at all. However, Hefeng not only awakened the kaleidoscope, but just now, he upgraded the ordinary kaleidoscope to the eternal kaleidoscope level. Uchiha Madara muttered to himself, looking at Shirazu on the side. But now, how can Shirazu answer Uchiha Madara's question? Even with his intelligence-gathering ability, no one can match in the ninja world. The extent to which he knows about the gentle breeze is the same. It's not better than Uchiha Madara, and basically everything I can say has been said. Why does he have an eternal kaleidoscope? Don't know, don't ask me. Forget it. Uchiha Madara sighed and shook his head. What's wrong with me now? It doesn't matter whether there is an eternal kaleidoscope in the breeze. Even if he is really strong now, can he be better than the Senjujuma back then? In Uchiha Madara's eyes, the Japanese wind is very strong, but compared with the pillars at the peak of its heyday, still not as good. In fact, if you can return to the peak state, where will you be afraid of an 8-year-old kid? Just kill him directly. Really, it's not time. In short, it is me who has the eyes of reincarnation now. Uchiha Madara glanced back at the outside golem. Relying on this thing, oneself will not die in a short time. Advertisement. On the contrary, you can definitely live longer. Sooner or later, one day, I will let the wind experience what is the real despair. That day will come, and it won't be far away. Uchiha Madara said so. At the same time, hidden in the darkness of the ninja world, Heiju also set off a stormy sea in his heart. He thought that the deduction this time would be enough to get rid of the guy Hefeng. What happened just now? Who can explain to me? That fellow Hefeng defeated Madara Uchiha. Just kidding, isn't he just 8 years old? Up to this time, Heiju's heart was not very accepting of this matter. He is the biggest man behind the ninja world. When the 6 Tao immortals were still alive, he started to make trouble. Divorcing the relationship between Indra and Asura, fabricating a stone tablet. In other words, Heiju is now a living fossil in the ninja world. However, this situation has completely touched his blind spot of knowledge. Why does the gentle breeze awaken the eternal kaleidoscope and right round eyes? He is not from the Uchiha clan. Also, Uchiha Madara turned Indra. How could you lose? But, he is only 8 years old now. Is it impossible? I really have to wait for Hefeng to die. Perhaps, Uchiha Madara must know me in advance. Suddenly, Heiju's brain was wide open, and he thought of a possibility that he himself felt exaggerated. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. Chinese MTL fan fiction, second element novel can be read at hotmtl novel for free. Could it be that the 6 immortals discovered my plan? This guy, shouldn't it be the turn of the 6 Tao immortals? Anyway, think of a way. The gentle breeze can successively suppress the pillars and spots, it was still at the age of 8. Heiju couldn't help but sighed helplessly, not knowing what to do. Could it be? In any case, he is just behind the scenes, and does not have enough power. There is no doubt about this. As soon as Heiju spoke, he fell into a state of embarrassment. The pillars and Madara are definitely the turn of Asura and Indra. Both of them have their chakras on their bodies. Really fight, I am afraid that I will be killed by the gentle wind. Thinking of this, He couldn't help but shiver. Even Uchiha Madara lost, so there are still people who can rival Hefeng. Chapter 388 Next Step Plan. Advertisement. Heiju was directly stupid. This first Ninja World War can be said to be a whim of his own accord, or it can be said to have been planned for a long time. And I wrote the script that Hefeng will die in the first Ninja War. Muyayan village will also be devastated, even destroyed. However, what Highway never dreamed of was everything he planned carefully. He was directly defeated by Hefeng's powerful strength. Not only the shadows of the various shinobu villages failed to kill the wind, but Uchiha Madara, the man who was given high hopes by him, also lost to the wind. Even though Uchiha Madara uses the Zhengjuan technique, it is also 50% of the chakra volume. The horrible tremor, the ability of the reincarnation eye, are not limited due to the amount of chakra. Heiju muttered to himself. For Uchiha Madara's performance this time, he can be said to be very disappointed, very disappointed. Forget it, it doesn't make much sense to entangle this kind of problem now, we should plan the next action as soon as possible. Heiju quickly adjusted his emotions and temporarily put aside this defeat. Instead of holding on to the mistakes of the past, it is better to put all your mind and energy into the future. Gentle style. Heiju was hiding in the darkness, his eyes narrowed, he glanced at Hefeng meaningfully, hiding his breath, and quickly left here. On the Hefeng side, he didn't notice Highway. After going through such battles one after another, there was a gentle breeze, and I also felt a little physically exhausted. It's time to have a good rest. Thinking of this, Hefeng lifted all the states such as Lei Dun Chakra Mode. Shen Zuo and Ji Ma jumped off Hefeng's shoulders, relieved. When fighting Uchiha Madara, they really thought they were dead this time. However, the strength of Xiao Hefeng is too exaggerated. Shen Zuo couldn't help but complain. Until now, he still deeply remembered when Hefeng came to Miaomu Mountain. A 7-year-old kid threatened that he had come to learn the fairy model. At that time, I still regarded the gentle rhetoric as a joke. I feel that it is Hefeng's lack of knowledge of the world that makes him think that the advanced skills of the fairy model are easy. Result: in less than 10 minutes, he was still a 7-year-old gentleman, and he easily learned the fairy pattern. The speed is so fast that it directly shatters one's own 3 views. It's horrible. Today, less than a year has passed. Hefeng's strength has been improved by leaps and bounds. Rao is Uchiha Madara, the most terrifying and powerful ninja in the ninja world, and he is not his opponent. Advertisement. I really don't know what language to use to describe the current Japanese style. After thinking so deeply in his heart, it couldn't help but discover that its own language was lacking. Shima on the side has similar ideas. The only words it can think of are words such as horror, terrible, and powerful. The true god of ninja was born. The other ninjas all looked at the wind at this time. His eyes were full of admiration and shock for the Japanese style. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. Especially the ninjas of the Uchiha clan. It was not only Uchiha Madara, the top powerhouse that he defeated. It directly defeated their Uchiha clan's dream of taking control of Konoha. With this battle, Hefeng has not only become the hero of Konoha Hidden Village, but also a new generation of ninja god. Existence standing at the top of ninja world. Whether it is strength, reputation, or something else. The gentle breeze is enough to shock the world. Even those ninjas who are not Konoha have been completely convinced by the wind ever since. None of the people present dare to underestimate the 8-year-old Japanese style. Gentle style. 3 steps and 2 steps in the door, come to Hefeng's side. As Uchiha Madara was defeated, the heart that was hanging in the door completely fell. There is no doubt that you are our hero now. Throwing the floor with a sound, raise the volume to the highest level. I was afraid that someone would not hear the same. And these words, not only did the ninja refute, on the contrary. When the voice of the door fell, the Konoha ninjas present burst out with unprecedented cheers. Shouting the name of Japanese style, Hefeng looked around and noticed the reaction of every ninja. That was the way everyone looked at him when Naruto Uzumaki was saving Muyein village. A hero of Konoha, Hefeng muttered to himself, a little surprised by this. In any case, he had no intention of becoming a hero. His initial idea was simple. Stop the first ninja war. Forget it. Hefeng shook his head. Anyway, the matter is over, and now is not the time to entangle these matters anymore. What's more, becoming a Konoha hero now has nothing but profit and no harm to his future path to become Hokage. Advertisement. The most important thing is that because of his own relationship, his fate has been completely changed. Union Village now has no ability to continue to afford a big battle. Even the second generation of raking and the next 3 generations of raking died in this war. The current Union Village can be said to be quite weak. Otherwise, they would not agree to their almost unreasonable demands. In addition, the Golden Horn and the Silver Horn had been killed by himself a long time ago. This also means that no one can hurt his life in the interim. But, at the same time I was happy with the wind, I couldn't help but murmur in my heart. Except Konoha ninja at the scene. Ninjas from Wuyin Village, Yinian Village, and Cheyenne Village gather here. They said it was surrender and did not continue to fight. But the number is here. How to properly arrange them has become a top priority. In any case, these people still maintain a strong combat effectiveness. If you leave it alone, the ghost knows that something will happen. Of course, Hefeng did not intervene in this matter. It's not that he is not interested. Once Uzumaki Mito becomes a perfect person, Uchiha Madara wants to use the power of Kyuubi again, it will be idiotic. And the real reason why he didn't intervene was because of his trust in the door. Hefeng seemed to have thought of something suddenly, and he suddenly stopped him. Can you leave it to me to deal with the things about Union Village? Looking at the breeze meaningfully, Hefeng said directly. Secondly, it is not that he is incapable of handling this matter. If her strength can make a qualitative leap, it will only benefit the Konoha Hidden Village in the future without any harm. Hefeng is very interested in the remains of Union Village. Uchiha Madara's psychic art cannot be used on the sealed Kyuubi. This is just one aspect. As a result, Phaegian is now acting as Naruto. Hefeng thought to himself. Union Village. And. You know, that's my grandmother. But then again. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. Chinese MTL fan fiction, second element novel can be read at hotmtl novel for free. If it goes well, I might be able to help Uzumaki Mito and become a perfect man. Chapter 389 I was only 8 years old and asked me to participate in the Five Shadows Conference. Advertisement. Although he doesn't know what kind of abacus he has in his heart, he is the grandfather of Hefeng. Naturally, there is no reason to refuse and win. The future of Hokage will definitely be a gentle breeze. What's more, if Hefeng really has any unfavorable ideas for the village, then he wouldn't try to save himself in the situation just now. I see, gentle. There was a silence for about 3 or 4 seconds, and then he focused his head heavily, indicating that he understood. He will hand over all the situation in Union Village to Hefeng. As for Yanyan Village, Cheyenne Village, and Wuyin Village, they will be dealt with by themselves. In addition, Zhangjian also intends to use this incident to start the second Five Shadows talks. Re-sign the peace agreement. And it's different from the first time. The signing of the first peace agreement was entirely due to the character of the eldest brother Zhujian. If it weren't for the relationship between Big Brother Zhu, that kind of peace agreement, no one would accept it at all. I thought to myself in my heart, it's not just him. That kind of peace agreement, even other shadows, chose to oppose it for the first time. However, the pillars are too sincere. It is precisely because of this sincerity that everyone is moved. Bury the hatchet. Let the real peace of Ninja World usher in. Although this peace has not been maintained for too long. In this way, with a big wave of the hand, he called the ninjas of Onbi, and planned the ninjas of Yanyan Village, Cheyenne Village, and Wuyin Village. Limit them to concentrated areas in the village. This is also helpless. Today's Konoha hidden village is waiting to be flourished. Let alone let these ninjas live, there are no cells in which to hold them. Thinking about it, you can only divide the activity area. Throw them in temporarily. In any case, because of Hefeng's powerful strength, no ninja was dissatisfied with the decision of Fengjian. The picture of Hefeng defeating Kage and Uchiha Madara, they are still vividly visible until now. Challenge Hefeng at this time, unless you are crazy. Soon, the First Ninja World War ended with the victory of Konoha Hidamura. Everyone is enjoying the joy of this victory. On the contrary, it was a gentle breeze, the greatest hero of the First Ninja World War, and he didn't want to enjoy it because of it. He just took a rest for one night and then returned to an energetic state. I don't know if it is related to 8 years old. And there is no doubt that through this battle, let the name of the wind spread throughout the ninja world. It's not just the 5 ninja villages. Advertisement. There are small ninja villages such as Kusao Ninja Village and Takanan Village. At this time, they also learned the news one after another. They thought that the 5 ninja villages were evenly matched. This war is likely to be the largest and most terrifying war in history. The duration is at least in years. Even, the leaders of these ninja villages are planning whether to use this opportunity to make their ninja village stronger. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. But who knows, hasn't waited for them to act. The First Ninja World War was declared over. Among them, everyone is sure of one thing. Hefeng was the Konoha hero who prevented the First Ninja War. The new god of ninja. Born. Although Feijian's body has major and minor injuries, as long as it is not fatal, there is no major problem in his eyes. Then, I appointed Konoha Onbi Ninja to send the news to Yanyan Village, Sandy Hiden Village, Wuyin Village. Even Union Village. Let these Shinobu villages send a representative to participate in the Five Shadows talks. The content of the discussion is naturally the re-signing of the peace agreement. What's different from the previous time is that the Konoha Hidden Village was only established between the pillars at that time, and no war broke out with other Shinobu villages. Although he was called the god of ninjas, he didn't have that village of ninjas, and he was forced into ruin. This time it was completely different. Konoha Hidden Village is undoubtedly the identity of defeating Shinobu Village. The other villages are all losers. Moreover, their shadows were all beheaded by the gentle wind. It is the time of weakness. In other words, Ninja Village at this time, no matter what the conditions are. They only agreed. When I think of this, Feijian feels a little excited. I can finally do what I really want to do. Of course, Jian did not attend the Five Shadows talks alone. According to the management of the first Five Shadows talks, it should be Yu Ying, carrying a guard, and attending together. And this system has been used until the Fourth Ninja World War, the Five Shadows Conference. Therefore, in accordance with the normal process, one should choose a ninja that he can trust the most to serve as the guard. If it had been before, Jian would definitely choose Sarutobi Hizen without hesitation. In any case, he is a genius among the younger generation. The proud son of heaven should be the successor of Naruto in the future. However, because of the emergence of the gentle breeze. Advertisement. Sarutobi Hizen was also beaten into the cold palace. About 20 minutes or so, Konoha Onbi Ninja knocked on the door of the temporary office in the door. After all, the previous war was too tragic, resulting in the destruction of most of the Naruto building. Now I can only deal with Konoha's daily affairs in other places. Please come in. With the order of the time. The door of the office was pushed open. An Onbi ninja stopped at the door, and with one hand, he signaled another person to enter. The person who came here with this Onbi ninja is not someone else. It is the 8-year-old Zephyr. Master Shujian. The corner of the Hefeng mouth rises, and his face is relaxed. Although the war has just ended, Hefeng's mood is not so bad. Especially Union Village. They want to sign a new peace agreement. The first condition is to hand over the sea turtle. This is where Naruto Uzumaki learns the strength of the perfect man from Kurabi. As long as there is that ruin, the gentle breeze has full control, making Uzumaki Mito a perfect man. This is his next plan. You came. So, I plan to start the second Five Shadows talks in the name of Hokage. I'm only 8 years old, tell me this. Otherwise, Shinobi really doesn't know how long it will be turbulent. Let the breeze face black lines involuntarily. It's actually very simple. Like a peace agreement. Said this way. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. Chinese MTL fan fiction, second element novel can be read at hotmtl novel for free. Cough. Although the war is over, there are still some issues that need to be dealt with. Hefeng and Fujian looked at each other, and understood what he meant. Feijian naturally didn't know the true meaning of Japanese style. Do you want me to be your escort? Hefeng said as if I understood. As soon as the door came up, it was a polite remark. Thanks to you this time, Shinobi can calm down. Who knows, he shook his head, actually, I am your guard. He cleared his throat, and then said his purpose. After noticing the change in Hefeng's expression, I thought it was a reaction. Chapter 390 Combining the Power of Kyuubi. Advertisement. I'm only 8 years old, so let me participate in the Five Shadows talk. Hefeng couldn't help but look dazed, but he didn't expect that he would suddenly propose to let himself participate in the Five Shadows conference. The most important thing is not to let myself participate in the Five Shadows talks as a guard. You know, there are only two kinds of people who can participate in the Five Shadows talks, or they are the shadow guards to ensure the safety of the shadows. Either, it's the shadow. But Fei Jian made it clear that he was not participating in the Five Shadows talks with him as a guard. Putting aside all the impossible, no matter how impossible the remaining possibilities may sound, it is the only correct answer. I am a shadow, Konoha's Hokage. Moreover, it will be the first 8-year-old Hokage in history. The news made Hefeng look shocked, and he couldn't believe it. However, the expression in the door did not seem to be joking at all. On the contrary, he still looked serious, and nodded vigorously when the breeze reacted. I have thought about it seriously, Hefeng, although you are only 8 years old and still a kid, but the mind and strength you showed have reached the peak. Having said this, I took a deep breath and couldn't help thinking in my heart. Although he didn't want to admit it, both his mind and ability were far above him. Even if he is only 8 years old, he is a more suitable candidate for Hokage than himself. What's more, Hefeng did it by virtue of its powerful strength to promote the current situation. So, for this Five Shadows talks, I hope you can participate as a representative of the village. There was a sound in the air, as if sure of this matter. Even, this is not the tone of discussing with Hefeng. I see. Hefeng was silent for a moment, and his calm expression returned. Since they all forced themselves to be the Hokage of Konoha Yin village, it would be inappropriate for him to refuse. What's more, Hefeng originally had ambitions to become Hokage. Now it's just pushing the boat along the way. But it has to be said that this also made Hefeng admire the person of Feijian. He really stood at the level of Shinobu village to do things. There is no desire for power and status. Everything is really for the village, perfect implementation. It's not like some people. On the surface, it's for the village, but in fact it's just for their own power. But having said that, at the beginning, perhaps Sarutobi Hizen was really doing his best for the village. However, supreme power and status often hold a person's heart firmly and cannot extricate himself from it. Forget it, now is not the time to think about these things. The breeze stopped there, and did not continue to think about it. Of course, the progress of the Five Shadows talks will not be so fast. On the one hand, the war has just ended, and the 5 ninja villages need to deal with various things. Advertisement. Especially Konoha. Although it was the biggest victor of this ninja battle, the village was in a mess. In addition, the prisoners of Yinyan village, Cheyenne village, and Wuyin village were not sent back. It is necessary to deal with trivial matters in this area first. On the other hand, the shadows of these shinobu villages were all beheaded by the wind. Choose a suitable candidate from the remaining ninjas to participate in the Five Shadows meeting. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. It is not a matter of overnight. Based on this and that relationship. The Five Shadows meeting was planned 3 months later. For Hefeng, he has enough things to deal with his own affairs first. In the next few days, Hefeng quickly took action. But taking advantage of this time, helped the village improve its strength. Hefeng took a deep breath and found Uzumaki Mito. Give out all your true thoughts. Although he defeated Uchiha Madara who was 50% chakra. But he knew in his heart that that was not Uchiha Madara's real strength. After all, I just got Sasuke's eternal kaleidoscope riding wheel. The amount of chakra is a little more than that of Sasuke. Gen Lun's strength, Sasuke can only be beaten by Madara. In addition, what Kazuka said about Uchiha Madara's Zanshu. Hefeng is determined in his heart that the next time Madara will strike, it will only be his peak state. That battle will greatly change the world pattern. And the future direction of shinobi. Moreover, if I were Uchiha Madara, I would definitely go to collect the tail beasts, make sure I have enough strength, and shoot again. Of course, this is just his personal thoughts. He was also not sure if Uchiha Madara would do such a thing. What he can confirm now is, Uchiha Madara will definitely make a comeback. Hefeng took a deep breath and said loudly to the Whirlpool Mito in front of him. As soon as I heard the name Uchiha Madara, Uzumaki Mito's heart stunned even more. As Senjujuma's wife, she knows Uchiha Madara well. Back then, he was a close friend and competitor between the pillars. Mito felt that apart from the pillars, few people knew his depth better than himself. He is very strong. Advertisement. Now, this close friend and competitor between Zhu Jian is eyeing her and Zhu Jian's grandson Hefeng. Myself. Never agree. Uchiha Madara is also not allowed to hurt the wind. For this, no matter what the cost. Whirlpool Mito is acceptable. Hefeng, what do you need me to do? Mito changed his normal, and in front of the 8-year-old kid Hefeng, she was the wife of the dignified first Hokage. Such a humble inquiry and style. What to do if you change it yourself? You know, in front of the god of ninjutsu, Mito has never been like this. It is not difficult to see the status of Hefeng in Mito's heart now. And the way Mito sees him. Okay. Seeing Mito's serious attitude, the corners of the wind rose up, and a smile appeared. What he worried the most was that Mito thought he was an 8-year-old kid and ignored his plan. In that case, I'll just say it straight, Grandma Mito. The breeze paused for a while, and continued to speak to Uzumaki Mito. I hope you can become a perfect person. Turn the huge amount of chakra in the 9 tails into your power. The sound of the breeze will be powerful. It's more like asking Uzumaki Mito than asking her for advice. This incident made Uzumaki Mito feel a little weird. She never dreamed that Hefeng would say such a thing to herself. Turn the huge chakra volume of Kyuubi into his own power. This kind of thing. Is it really possible? Uzumaki Mito's eyes widened, and there were incredible gazes. However, Uzumaki Mito was also very clear. If you can turn the 9-tailed chakra into your own power. What will it mean? The reason why the talent of the wind is so terrifying, except for his terrible mind. The most important point is that he has a chakra that ordinary people can't imagine. In addition, Uzumaki Mito is also a member of the Uzumaki family. Born to have a chakra volume, it is more than an ordinary person. Chapter 391 Create a perfect human pillar. Advertisement. Control the 9-tailed chakra and transform it into a part of my power. Uzumaki Mito sat on the sofa in the room, his eyes focused on Hefeng. When he heard these words, Mito's brain couldn't help but buzz. Really deserves to be his grandson Hefeng. This kind of thing in the minds of others that they can't even think about. Not only did he think, but he really planned to do it. Even Uzumaki Mito couldn't help but start to imagine that he had successfully controlled 9-tailed chakra by himself. Combined with the chakra volume of the Whirlpool clan. I'm afraid it's not. In terms of chakra, he is in Konoha. Do not. It should be said that in the entire ninja world, there may be invincible existence. Of course, this matter is not as simple as it sounds. As a 9-tailed man Zhu Li, seal the container of the most violent monster. Mito knew too well how powerful this guy Kyuubi was. And his character. Let him hand over his chakra. It's basically a foolish dream. Even if Kyuubi seizes the opportunity, he might even break the seal. Thinking of this, Uzumaki Mito temporarily suppressed many questions in his heart. Only one question was posed to Hefeng. This question will also be related to whether she will obey the arrangement of the wind. Accept the plan to become a perfect person. Although Hefeng now has a pivotal position in Mito's heart, she will not lose her judgment. On the contrary, in order to avoid the breeze, it is whimsical. Uzumaki Mito decides, if Hefeng's plan is really outrageous, then he will directly reject him. It wasn't that Uzumaki Mito was afraid of death. Just worry, the consequences are not what Konoha can bear now. About this matter, I have to talk about Union Village. Hefeng thought for a while, and decided to tell all about Renjuli. In any case, the person sitting in front of him is Uzumaki Mito, his grandmother. He didn't want to use deception and concealment to fool Mito and follow him. The most important thing is that Hefeng believes firmly in his heart. As long as he tells the truth, Uzumaki Mito knows what to do. After all, she was the woman behind the pillar, who had been silently supporting him, and died as Renjuli. Although Uzumaki Mito does not have the protagonist halo, it shouldn't be a problem to enter Mito's body with my eyes. Advertisement. Hefeng faces Mito's 4 eyes, muttering to himself. When Naruto and Sasuke met again 3 years later. Sasuke used the power of writing wheel eyes to enter Naruto's body and saw his hidden power in the dark. 9 tails. And he owns a more advanced eternal kaleidoscope than that time. It is easy to do this kind of thing. Other than that, unlike Naruto, Uzumaki Mito now owns an entire 9 tails. Hefeng couldn't help but murmured in his heart. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. When Bo Feng Shuaman sealed the 9 tails, he deliberately used a ghoul seal to divide the 9 tails into 2. Disassembled into Yin Juwei and Yang Juwei. Separate the seal into the body of himself and Naruto. In other words, if Uzumaki Mito becomes a perfect man, he will definitely be stronger than Naruto who has not awakened Asura Chakra. In the First Ninja World War, I met my second opponent, the perfect human Zhu Li. He and Wei Yulu not only achieved a communion, but the power that he showed made me amazed for a while. But, the strength of Wei is too average. Hefeng inevitably shook his head, as if he couldn't really appreciate the power of Niu. In fact, the previous strength of the tail beast was completely different. Regaining the pillars of these tailed beasts should have the most experience. And Uzumaki Mito, it is impossible not to know these things. So, even ordinary ninjas in Union Village can do it, why can't Grandma Mito? In my heart, Grandma Mito has always been a super powerful female ninja. Hefeng said sincerely. In fact, these remarks did not deceive Mito Uzumaki. He really thought so. Although Uzumaki Mito doesn't appear much in the plot of Naruto, it can even be said to be a role in the background. Most of them are narrated by others. But from the perspective of sealing the nine tails, willing to become a container of human pillar power, and enlightening Uzumaki Kushina. Uzumaki Mito is indeed an amazing female ninja. Based on this and that relationship, Kazuo really believes that Uzumaki Mito can successfully master the nine-tailed chakra. Become stronger than Naruto. Hefeng put his thoughts out, and then began to be silent. Staring at Uzumaki Mito, there is no urging, waiting quietly for her answer. Uzumaki Mito also calmed down. It took about 3 or 4 minutes before Uzumaki Mito spoke again. She took a deep breath and got up from the sofa. With a serious face, he looked at Hefeng sincerely. Advertisement. I see, Hefeng, I will do what you say. However, Union Village is really amazing. He has mastered the method of creating a perfect human pillar. Uzumaki Mito couldn't help being surprised. I just mastered the method, but it's still a bit difficult to actually implement it. Of course, no matter what, I will ensure your safety. Hefeng said. He didn't act like an 8-year-old kid at all, let alone Mito's grandson. On him, Uzumaki Mito even saw the shadow of the past between the pillars. Very reliable, Uzumaki Mito couldn't find the slightest reason to refuse Japanese wind. She raised her mouth and nodded vigorously, indicating that she knew it. She will choose to believe in harmony and strive to become a pillar of strength. It is worth mentioning that, as a traverser, the gentle breeze. He knew very well in his heart how to become a pillar of strength. All he needs is that legendary relic. Nothing else matters. Therefore, he did not think that the people of Union Village could design and frame Mito. As he said, he will ensure the safety of Mito. Thought of this. The breeze leaves the room. Tell this matter to the door. Said that he will leave the village temporarily with Whirlpool Mito. Of course, Hefeng did not hide it. Tell the truth directly to Shu. This incident was unexpected, but seeing Hefeng's face is serious and serious. Jian knows that there is no possibility of rejection. And, in his heart, he didn't think Hefeng would fail. What's the matter? I actually feel that an 8-year-old kid can really do this kind of thing. Even Fei Jian couldn't help feeling surprised. In the end, with the consent of Fei Jian, Kazuka brought Mito with the whirlpool. And the ninja sent out in the door. In fact, it is Sarutobi Hizen and others. All are old men of the Japanese style. Let's set off together to the ruins of Union Village. Of course, because of the victory of the First Ninja World War, Konoha is now under Konoha's jurisdiction. Chapter 392 Real Waterfall. Advertisement. Taking advantage of the time left before the Five Shadows talks, Hefeng simply focused his energy on how to make Uzumaki Mito a perfect person. And after having a conversation with Hefeng, Uzumaki Mito also agreed to Hefeng. Said that he would be desperate to become the perfect human force in Konoha Hidden Village. At the same time, after understanding this matter, once again, he was shocked by Hefeng's bold decision. Hefeng, an 8-year-old kid, often does such things. Such as, he learned the 8-door Dunjia just by looking at it. In less than 10 minutes to Miaomu Mountain, he learned the fairy mode. Everything made Feijian feel that his cognition has been subverted by his talent. He even felt, if the eldest brother Zuma didn't seal the 9 tails into Uzumaki Mito's body at the beginning, but instead sealed the 9 tails in the body of the wind. Maybe at this time, Hefeng is already a perfect human pillar. Of course, although Kenma is not as confident about Uzumaki Mito's talent as he did with Japanese wind, since this matter was advocated by Japanese wind. Then he must have mastered something. At least, in Hefeng's mind, he felt that such a thing would not trouble him. Based on this and that relationship, Feijian finally agreed that Hefeng and Mito went to Union Village ruins. And let Sarutobi Hizen and others accompany K's. Not out of the idea of protecting the wind. With Hefeng's current strength, looking at the entire ninja world, no one would be his opponent at all. If you really encounter an enemy that can't even be resolved by the wind. Sarutobi hits these ninjas, even if they were 10 times more numerous, they would just die. The main reason why he did this was to share the baggage of Hefeng and others. In addition, Feijian also deliberately found a ninja from Union Village to act as a tour guide. Take Hefeng and others to the indifferent ruins. In this way, when everything was ready, Hefeng set off with the Whirlpool Mito. Along the way, Hefeng did not rush to go early and return early. Anyway, there is still a long time before the Five Shadows talks. There is no need to be impatient at all. On the way, Hefeng had a good time with Mito. On the one hand, it is to make Uzumaki Mito better out of the shadow of the lost column. After all, wanting to be a perfect person is not something you can do just thinking about it. Often many people are so powerful that they can't even pass the first test. Advertisement. Real waterfall. All those who stand in front of the real waterfall must face the darkness in their hearts. And the darkness of the human column force is the evil thought of the tail beast. Naruto defeated his evil mind body, but it took a long time. If it is the usual Whirlpool Mito, there should be no problem, but now. Although Uzumaki Mito has hardly appeared in Naruto, but for the current Japanese style. She is not just an anime character. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. But a living person. For more than a year, Hefeng has been in contact with Uzumaki Mito. She is almost the strongest girl she has ever met. The most important thing is that if Uzumaki Mito's consciousness is really so easily eroded, she will not be a person for decades. But it is precisely because of his clear understanding of Mito that Hefeng feels a little worried. The death between the pillars might become her biggest weakness. Let her be in front of the real waterfall, unable to look directly at herself. Based on the relationship between this and that, Kaza thought, these days, as much as possible to relax Uzumaki Mito's mind. Let her realize that in her life, there is not only the dead column. The other reason is war. Even if the war is now over, a lot of subsequent issues need to be dealt with. When I finished participating in the Five Shadows talks, I was in the village again anyway. It's almost time to take the post of Hokage. Although his initial plan was to become the Hokage in the village. But when he really got to this point, Hefeng still had an indescribable feeling in his heart. But then again, the real waterfall. Hefeng's mind couldn't help but reflect the appearance of a real waterfall. In fact, it is not only the human column power that has a strong dark side. Everyone has their own dark side. The single-cell type of Metke may be the exception. Hefeng even felt that no effect of Metke in front of the real waterfall happened, not because the ghost shark appeared too timely. But this guy, there may not be a bit of darkness in my heart. In order to be open and honest, it's really innocent to the point of inconceivable. But when it comes to the dark side, Hefeng can't help but feel a little curious. What is your dark side like? How strong will the strength be? Advertisement. Why not take this opportunity to look at the other me? Hefeng thought to himself, he was determined. In this way, after successfully arriving at Turtle Island, the gentle breeze let the people of Union Village lead the way. What Hefeng didn't expect was that the ninja in Union Village seemed to have known some news. Even in this ruins of Turtle Island, waiting for the arrival of the gentle breeze. The corners of his mouth rose, and a smile appeared without a smile. And explained to the gentle breeze. They can accept the ruins of Turtle Island and give them to Konoha Hidden Village. But I hope that the final handover can be improved after the Five Shadows talks are successfully concluded. Before that, they hope they can lead Hefeng and others to the real waterfall. In this regard, Hefeng did not refuse. Anyway, even if the Five Shadows talks were approaching, among the 5 great shinobi villages, except for Konoha Hidden Village. No one can change the doomed ending. So, the group took a short rest on Turtle Island and went directly to the real waterfall. Finally reached, Kaukas took a deep breath and explained to Uzumaki Mito to the others. If you want to be a perfect person, the most important and crucial step is to face the darkness in your heart. If you can't pass this level, the rest of the content is basically a fantasy. The breeze is not loud, but very powerful. Rao was Yun Ren who was in charge of leading Hefeng and others, and at this time they all looked dumbfounded. I was puzzled. Why, Hefeng, who is only 8 years old, knows so much about the ruins on Turtle Island. You know, this matter has always been the secret of their Union Village. Rarely. No, I won't tell outsiders at all. But Hefeng doesn't seem to be the first day he came here. For this, he is even the process of creating a perfect human pillar. They are all familiar with the road. For a moment, these Yun Ren people looked at each other and thought of a certain possibility. It must have been Erwei Renzuli who told Hefeng all the ruins in order to survive. He, traitor of Union Village. However, I think so, but they can't do anything except complain in their hearts. Chapter 393 Uzumaki Mito's Hatred. Advertisement. Every ninja who participated in the first battle of the ninja world can see how strong the Japanese style is now. At this time, there will be no ninja who dares to challenge the wind. Originally, I was thinking of showing some wrong paths for Hefeng. As a result, he didn't expect that Hefeng did not need explanation from others. He is even more familiar with this place than they are. The relic thing. There is also the real waterfall. Hefeng is all well understood. Quickly, Hefeng and his group came to the real waterfall. And behind the real waterfall, there is an entrance to the ruins hidden. Of course, if you have not passed the test of the real waterfall, you will even find the entrance and enter the ruins. It doesn't make much sense. Hefeng took a deep breath and turned to look at the whirlpool Mito on the side. In any case, Uzumaki Mito is almost the closest person to him in this world. He didn't want Mito to be harmed because of his decision. Before the first test, there is something I must explain to you. Hefeng looked serious and serious. If not for his current immature facial features and the height of a child. It is hard to imagine that a person who can speak in this tone will be an 8-year-old kid. Uzumaki Mito, and Sarutobi Hizen and others behind her. All became cautious at this time. Although they have a little knowledge of the real waterfall, since they can arouse a serious attitude towards the wind. That means it must be quite dangerous here. Not bad. Hefeng nodded, indicating that it was indeed the case. Not only is it dangerous, it is also dangerous. When you stand in front of this real waterfall, you can summon a ninja just like you. It's just that she is not someone else, but you. Grandma Mito, you should know how powerful the evil thoughts of that guy in Kyubi are, right? Hefeng said without thinking. No one knows how terrifying the tail beast is better than Renzuli. They are not bewitching people at all times. Let them give up on themselves and gain powerful strength. In fact, these tail beasts are just to get out of trouble. Okay, soon, Uzumaki Mito nodded vigorously, I know very well. Even on the way, Kyubi did not give up any opportunities. I've been persuading myself that I don't need any test at all. Advertisement. If she needs strength, she can help. The premise is that as long as Uzumaki Mito surrenders his body and mind to himself. Immediately afterwards, Uzumaki Mito walked to the waterfall in 3 steps and 2 steps. She took a deep breath, adjusted her emotions, and stared at the waterfall with extremely serious eyes. What do I need to do now? Uzumaki Mito couldn't help asking. Victory against another self. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. This is one of the necessary conditions to become a human pillar. Hefeng said. Moreover, the real waterfall reacted at the moment when the breeze fell. A dark shadow began to appear in the turbulent water. Uzumaki Mito's attention was drawn, and he immediately held his breath, not even daring to blink his eyes. Staring intently at the black shadow on the surface of the water. Suddenly, a bad feeling arose in Mito's heart. This black shadow moved slowly, as if to come out of the waterfall. The dark side of yourself. Uzumaki Mito rolled his throat, muttering to himself. Realizing that the guy who was about to appear is likely to be the dark side of Hefengko. As for how Hefeng knew these things, Uzumaki Mito didn't go into it. In a short while, a ninja who looked exactly like Uzumaki Mito. He appeared decisively and caught Mito's eyes. The only difference is that the eyes on this dark side are bleeding red. It looks a little evil. Another me. The dark side spoke slowly. She is not a lunatic, nor is she a irrational person. On the contrary, she felt that she knew herself better than Uzumaki Mito. The darkness that can't see the light. The pain of tossing and turning in the night. Myself. Know all. Moreover, I know very clearly. So, as you my enemy? Uzumaki Mito asked nervously, and put on an offensive posture. Can be shot at any time. As long as the dark side herself acts, she will launch the most violent attack. In any case, he is not only the princess of the Whirlpool clan. Still the ninja of Konoha Hidden Village. In order to pass the test in Hefengko. Today, Mito especially put on the ninja uniform of Konoha Hidemura. Facilitate their actions. Advertisement. Enemy. But who knows, Mito's question was scorned by her dark side. In her opinion, this is definitely not a problem. Why do you think I am your enemy? The dark side asked. I am you, and you are me. Look, you are Uzumaki Mito, and I am Uzumaki Mito. We are all alone. It's just that I am more real than you. The dark side paused for a while, and continued, think about it, the other me, why is this called a real waterfall instead of a dark waterfall? Because you are the ones who live in lies. You are hiding in lies and deceit. And I am the real. The dark side took a step forward, and the place on his body that was soaked by the waterfall became clean and tidy in an instant. She approached Mito step by step, constantly provoking Mito with words. Want to break her defense. In fact, the real waterfall is exactly what Mito from the dark side said. It just exposes the most depressed and darkest part of people's hearts. Such as Naruto's blackening. I just hope you can face yourself more squarely. Mito, in fact, you hate the wind, right? If it weren't for the gentle breeze, Senjujuma wouldn't have died so early. The dark side suddenly changed the conversation, and brought the topic to Hefeng, Zujian's body. Unexpectedly, this scene made Mito stand on the spot for a while. The scariest thing is, however, if there is no gentle breeze. I don't know why, today's Whirlpool Mito is full of these words. Because Shujian had clearly told himself that the Zujian could survive for several years. What's the situation? The corner of Hefeng's mouth couldn't help but let out a sigh of relief. The error-free chapters of I Become Naruto at the Age of 8 will continue to be updated on sushu.com. There are no advertisements in the site. Please collect and recommend sushu.com. Thinking of this, Uzumaki Mito couldn't help turning his head and glanced at Hefeng meaningfully. If there is no gentle breeze. The mood suddenly became complicated. And, the smiling face that disappeared between the pillars. On the contrary, it is a gentle breeze, and when Mito sees it, I feel a little hairy. Hatred. In other words, if there is no gentle breeze. In the heart of Uzumaki Mito, he did think so. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. Chinese MTL fan fiction, second element novel can be read at hotmtl novel for free. In order to better spur the wind, the pillars exhausted his chakra. Chapter 394 Was Uzumaki Mito so strong? Advertisement. It has started. Seeing Mito, the whirlpool on the dark side, walked out of the real waterfall, Kazuka retreated again and again. With Hefeng's current strength, whether it is Uzumaki Mito or her dark side, he can kill in seconds. But, the test of the real waterfall is not just to defeat the opponent. Otherwise, Uzumaki Naruto would not need to spend 2 days when facing the real waterfall. If you want to pass the test of the real waterfall, you must completely eliminate the dark side. Otherwise, Mito's consciousness will be affected by the dark side when competing with Kyuubi for chakra. Thus losing this fight, although I can use the power of the eternal kaleidoscope to write round eyes to enter Mito's body. But this method cannot give full play to my strength. In fact, when Naruto competed with Kyuubi for chakra, Kurabi also entered Naruto's spiritual world for a while. But the strength that can be exerted is very limited. And so, want to truly master the nine-tailed chakra and become a perfect person. We must rely on the will of Uzumaki Mito. The most important thing is that he is full of confidence in Uzumaki Mito. In any case, Mito is the princess of the Whirlpool clan. Also one of the people I am closest to now. If it were her, she would definitely be able to defeat the dark side. Hefeng thought to himself in his heart, and at the same time made a gesture to tell Sarutobi Hazumi and others not to disturb Mito. Now, it is Mito's battle alone. Others reached an unprecedented tacit understanding, and their eyes focused on Uzumaki Mito. To shut up. Suddenly, Uzumaki Mito screamed and kicked hard on his toes, his body rushing towards his dark side like a swift cheetah. Everyone will have darkness in their hearts. Uzumaki Mito is no exception. She also understands. The death of Senjuan is more or less indirectly related to the wind. But, this is not the reason why she hates Hefeng. Because he is also the precious grandson he cherishes and cares about. How could it be possible that because of a word from the dark side, I would lose the pain between the pillars and vent to Hefeng? Bang. However, the dark side of Mito reacted equally quickly. Seeing Mito slamming his fist, he immediately greeted him with his palm. Neither party gave in. Advertisement. As the fists and palms collided strongly, the surrounding air was lifted by this force and turned into a strong air current, which spread out in all directions like ripples. Sweeping the water, the closed corners of Sarutobi Hizen and others began to sway. Such a sudden scene made them feel incredible. That whirlpool Mito who always looked calm and steady. Is physique so terrifying? Weird power. Shimura Danzo on the side reacted violently. He could be said to be familiar with this power and couldn't be more familiar with it. When he was fighting with Hefeng, he was almost beaten to death by this force. Wait, weird power, isn't it an ability that can only be mastered by 1,000 hands? Sarutobi Hitoshi's eyes widened. Actually, seeing it in a gentle breeze, he began to explain to everyone. The so-called strange power is just a technique to accurately control chakra, it has nothing to do with blood. As long as it is someone who can accurately control chakra, it is possible to learn strange powers. If the strange power is just the unique skill of the 1,000 Hands clan, it would be impossible for Haruno Sakura to learn this trick. As the eldest princess of the Whirlpool clan, Mito relied on his talent for precise control of chakra and learned strange powers. Hefeng doesn't feel that this is anything to be surprised about. Read more at hotmtl novel.zi, especially Uzumaki Mito's forehead has a diamond-shaped eyebrow mark like Tsunade. Although Naruto did not announce any information that Uzumaki Mito can use the Yin Seal, it is in the eyes of the wind. Uzumaki Mito is likely to be the pioneer of the Yin Seal. On the other hand, Tsunade improved the Yin Seal on a certain basis. It's like a strange force. After all, when Mito was old, he used the image of a mother-in-law to enlighten Kushina. Hefeng speculates in his heart. The battle between Mito and her dark side became fiercer. Bang, bang, bang. Both you come and I go, fists and feet collide. However, although Mito's physical skills were amazing, he still couldn't touch the opponent for a long time. The same goes for her dark side. It's useless, the other me. We are just one person. Your moves, style, and fighting habits are all printed in my mind. It's my experience. So, any of your attacks will not work. The dark face raised the corners of his mouth, yelling to Mito proudly. In any case, they are the same person themselves. Advertisement. King Kong blocked. Hearing this, Mito stepped back quickly, pulled away from the dark side, and shouted. However, what makes her feel incredible is that the other party seems to be able to predict her behavior. When he jumped backward, the same was true on his dark side. And King Kong blocked. The dark side also shouted, releasing golden chains that radiated light from behind. It collided with Mito's chains and bounced off one after another. Still, no one attacked anyone. Whether it's physique, ninjutsu, or something else. Mito couldn't find the slightest flaw. The battle went on for more than an hour without knowing it. Not to mention the victory or defeat, it is that the corners of the clothes of both sides are not stained with a trace of dust. Have equal shares. But, in terms of mentality, the dark side is even better. After all, she is the one who accepts the challenge. Of course, the wonderful battle of Mito caused an uproar among the crowd. Since Uzumaki Mito married Zuma, she has abandoned her identity as a ninja and has become a good helper. Responsible for the diet and daily life of the pillar room. Especially after contracting a terminal illness between the pillars, Uzumaki Mito is very careful. The younger generation in the village has hardly seen Mito's strength. Unexpectedly, Mito-sama's strength is so strong. Sarutobi was stunned. Can't help but feel that Hefeng's family are all monsters. Needless to say, between the pillars, the universally recognized god of ninjas. Master Shuma developed countless ninjutsu. Many of them are classified as prohibited techniques. Now, even Uzumaki Mito is a monster. No wonder Hefeng's talent is so shocking. His genetic pedigree is really too strong. But if this continues, I'm afraid the battle won't be over for a few days or nights. Hefeng's eyes were slightly fixed, and he stared at Mito. Although he has time, he still hopes that it can be over soon. Grandma Mito, the focus of this test is not on strength. After thinking about it, he decided to give a hint to Uzumaki Mito. She is not trying to defeat the dark side. Chapter 395. I'll try the dark side too. Advertisement. After thinking about it for a while, he still reminded Uzumaki Mito. The dark side was formed because of darkness in her heart. As long as she cannot face her own darkness, the dark side will not disappear. On the contrary, if Mito can face the death of Senjujuma, her dark side will disappear. Whirlpool Mito can also pass the test. Although Hefeng felt that Mito could understand this, he reminded Mito to save time. Not to defeat the dark side. Hearing the reminder of the gentle breeze, Uzumaki Mito's brows twitched, feeling thoughtful. Yup, no one has said that he must defeat the dark side. Do you want to face the darkness in your heart? Uzumaki Mito murmured to himself, then nodded, looking straight at the dark side standing on the water. At this moment, she thoroughly understood the meaning of the wind. Face the darkness. And the darkness in his heart was due to the death of Senjujuma. Thinking of this, Uzumaki Mito adjusted his mentality. She breathed slowly, calming her emotions. This sudden scene made the dark side stunned. Next second, countless chains burst out from the dark side, rushing towards Uzumaki Mito. However, bang, 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 from behind Uzumaki Mito, a golden chain also stretched out, resisting all the attacks from the dark side. You're right. The corners of Uzumaki Mito's mouth rose, and a smile appeared. Everything was exactly the same as she thought. We are the same person from the beginning, you can predict my attack, the way. The reverse is also true, all your memories, thoughts. I am also the one who knows best. It's not that my attack can't work on you. But, Uzumaki Mito paused for a while, and said loudly, my attack can't work on me. When he finished speaking, Uzumaki Mito rushed forward and hugged his dark side. Advertisement. And this time, the dark side did not predict Mito's actions at all. What are you doing? Let me go. The dark side's thinking paused for a second before he began to struggle, trying to break free from Mito's arms. However, she was held firmly by herself. Can't escape at all. I know. Uzumaki Mito smiled, and the corners of his eyes became moist. I've always known that losing between the pillars makes us very painful. But, it's not Hefeng's fault. All this is a choice between the pillars. Although his person always looks carefree, but his mind is very careful. For the village, he is willing to dedicate everything he has. Yes, the guy between the pillars is not to leave us behind, or to be jealous and windy. But he firmly believes in his heart that Hefeng will be the one who will lead the village to its heyday. Uzumaki Mito tells everything he has in his heart. This time, she chose to face the loss of the pillar. As Uzumaki Mito told her, her dark side began to shed tears, and her body slowly gave up resistance. He even stretched out his hands to embrace Uzumaki Mito. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. Her blood-red eyes also slowly improved and recovered. Okay. In the end, while the dark side gently nodded, she slowly disappeared. Only Uzumaki Mito was left alone, standing on the water in front of the real waterfall, with his back facing the wind and others. And the words she said were not only heard by her dark side, Hefeng and others also heard clearly. Especially the gentle breeze. Mito. Although passing the test of the real waterfall is something to be happy about, but seeing the back of Uzumaki Mito, Kase feels an indescribable loneliness. But, Uzumaki Mito has always been a strong man. Especially in front of the wind. The column is now gone. The gentle breeze is the biggest support for her to live. She wiped the tears from the corners of her eyes with her sleeves, squeezed a smile again, turned around slowly, and showed her strength toward the gentle breeze. Sarutobi and others saw such a scene, marveling at the power of Mito, but also very distressed for the current Mito. In the end, it was Mito who broke this silence first. Well, I have passed the test of the real waterfall, it's time to compete with that fox. Uzumaki Mito made a sound, without the slightest confusion or timidity in his tone. On the contrary, today's Mito is very resolute and determined. Advertisement. She has made up her mind that no matter what, she will get the Kyuubi chakra. Become the first and most perfect person in Konoha Hidden Village. But, okay. Hefeng nodded, then turned to look at Sarutobi Hizen and the others, speaking of which, it's coming anyway, do you want to try it too? Real waterfalls are not only effective for human pillars. Anyone who has darkness in their hearts can try it. From Hefeng's point of view, the most difficult item is probably the real waterfall. Once in the ruins, the following process is a bit simpler. The most important thing is that the opportunity is rare, and Kase also wants to see what the darkness of Sarutobi and others are. In particular, Sarutobi Hitoshi and Shimura Danzo. Although the two of them are presenting innocent youths, they are full of longing for the village and the future. But as a traverser, he is very clear in his heart. These two guys are not ordinary characters. Especially Danzo, after hearing Hefeng's invitation, he couldn't help but swell. How dark his heart is now, I am afraid that no one knows better than him. It's a trivial matter not to pass the test, if you expose your darkness. I'm afraid it's not that I won't be able to stay in the village anymore. Thinking of this, Tuan Zhang couldn't help but swallow nervously, and at the same time, he was sure that he would never walk in front of a real waterfall anyway. Then, almost subconsciously, Danzo looked at Sarutobi Hizen's profile. I want to know what kind of darkness this own competitor will have. However, Sarutobi Hazaki didn't give Danzo such a chance. After hearing the words of the wind, Sarutobi Hizen just smiled and shook his head. I don't want it anymore. A simple sentence. I skipped this topic. Others also chose to refuse. Especially the ninjas of Union Village, their darkness is almost hope and wind disappear from this world. Naturally dare not let Hefeng know. Never try. The gentle breeze glanced around the crowd, feeling a little disappointed in my heart. He wanted to see what darkness is in these people. If it is not good for you, you can find any reason to kill them. In that case, let me try it. While talking, Hefeng took off his coat. Chapter 396 My dark side wants to kill me. Advertisement. Seeing that everyone didn't mean to try, he walked to the front of the real waterfall with 3 steps and 2 steps, then took off his coat and threw it to the Sarutobi Hitoshi who was aside. Then, everyone's eyes focused on Hefeng, and they couldn't help but become curious. What will be the darkness in Hefeng's heart? Although he is only an 8-year-old kid, no one would really treat him as a child. Regardless of the strength or the castle, even Sarutobi Hizen and Shimura Danzo are ashamed. For his darkness, all of them had a deep curiosity. Of course, the reason why Hefeng wants to try the real waterfall is not to pass the test. Just want. Fight. Even Uchiha Madara's elephant turn technique was easily defeated by me. Hefeng thought to himself that in the previous battle, he didn't show his full strength at all. Except for Miaomu Mountain, Hefeng didn't fight with all his strength. The strong man he encountered was not as good as himself. Either it is like between the pillars, because of this or that relationship, there is no winner or loser. Are not in peak state. Now that he has the strength, Hefeng naturally wants to have a good fight. And his dark side is obviously the most suitable candidate. But, in order to avoid hurting Uzumaki Mito and others, Kaukas shook his wrist slightly and used the power of magneto dust. Separate the area under the feet of Uzumaki Mito and others from the land and slowly rise. Move them all to the sky. There may be danger on the ground. Hefeng said lightly, without even looking at these people. On the contrary, Mito and others couldn't help but show a silly expression. What's the situation now? There may be danger on the ground, so you send them all to the sky. But, Sarutobi Hizen couldn't help taking a breath. Hefeng seems to be serious. Hefeng's eyes narrowed slightly, staring at the real waterfall intensively, slowly relaxing himself. Soon, a black shadow slowly appeared in the center of the waterfall. Walked towards the breeze. When the two couldn't breathe, a blood-red light spot appeared on the body of this black shadow. It was his blood-red eyes. The dark side of the breeze. Another me. As soon as the dark side of the wind walked out of the real waterfall, the corners of his mouth were raised, exuding an extremely powerful aura. We finally met. Hefeng looked up and down at the other self. Advertisement. Except for the eyes that turned blood red, his appearance was exactly the same as himself, no difference. This kind of experience also makes Hefeng feel very delicate. Did you know? Gentle. However, when Hefeng was ready to fight his dark side actually spoke first. We are the same person, but I am the other self who was suppressed by you in the depths of my heart. Being firmly bound by your so-called morals. I know everything about you, whether it's memories or secrets. You should. Can you understand what I mean? The tone of the dark side is a bit playful, as if holding the veins of the wind. His smile is even more evil. There is a great discrepancy with his 8-year-old identity. Really, Hefeng was taken aback for a moment, but soon he was relieved. In any case, the dark side is another self, separated from oneself. Do not. To be precise, it is another personality released from my heart. Knowing the basics of one's own affairs is naturally nothing strange. At the same time, as the other self, they will reach a consensus on some things. That is their secret to become stronger all the time, their trump card. Read more at hotmtl novel.zi check-in system. With this whole card, Hefeng felt that even his dark side could not be exposed. He stared slightly at the dark side. And so, the dark side of Hefeng did not sell off, and directly stated his purpose to Hefeng. As long as I kill you here, I can completely replace you and become the strongest in the ninja world. The moment he finished speaking, the dark side directly opened his posture and guided his chakra to break through all the restrictions in his body. Zefeng. Hefeng looked at his dark side with a blank face. This guy is outrageous. I want to replace myself. The first door. Open the door. Open. The dark side moved cleanly and neatly. One could not breathe before directly opening the 8th door Dunjia. The second door. Close the door. Open. The third door. The life door. Open. In an instant, the dark side of the gentle breeze burst out with green energy, covering the whole body, and the skin began to turn red due to hyperemia. But even so, the dark side did not attack directly. He knew very well in his heart that it was just the 3 gates of 8 Dunjia, and it was not the opponent of the body at all. So, he continued to improve his strength. The 4th door. Advertisement. The 5th door. ... In an instant, the dark side directly opened the 7th door. Shocked. With the opening of this door, the green energy in him faded on the spot. Without a trace. Instead, it is the blue vapor formed by the evaporation of sweat. Is it so exciting when I come up? Zefeng blinked, feeling a little weird. Just now Uzumaki Mito fought against her dark side, who was almost in a defensive position. Did not take the initiative to attack. Look at the dark side of yourself. Not only take the initiative to attack, but also want to replace oneself. Really, it's so exciting. In other words, as long as I am defeated, my consciousness will be wiped out, or I will be sealed deep in my heart. Interesting. The corner of the wind rose up, and he devoted himself to this battle. Then let me see how strong I am when I am blackened. Hefeng suddenly yelled and provoked loudly towards his dark side. Don't live up to the name of the gentle breeze. Then he felt a sharp murderous aura rolling over from behind him. The white bones wrapped his body and played a defensive role. The ground under the feet of the two suddenly fell apart. However, at the moment when the breeze was over, his dark side disappeared. It is Susanoo. Upon seeing the dark side, he slammed a punch, and the majestic force swept the air, forming a shock and burst out. Read more at hotmtl novel.zi. Chinese MTL fan fiction, second element novel can be read at hotmtl novel for free. Fast speed. It looks like a huge spider web. Zefeng's response was particularly rapid. At the same time as the dark side fisted, Hefeng turned around and burst out chakras, realizing it. It seemed that he had been thrown into the extremely cold place. The wind could not help but let out a soft sigh. But the purple chakra rose into the sky, like a flame burning. The speed was so fast that even Hefeng's line of sight could not capture his movement. The diameter is as exaggerated as tens of meters. Boom. Chapter 397 Zephyr vs. the Dark Side. Advertisement. Everyone stood on the gold dust made by the wind, watching the battle condescendingly, dumbfounded. Looking at the cracks blasted out by the dark side of the gentle wind, and the shock waves that set off. They completely understood why Hefeng said that this battle might be dangerous. At the beginning, it was the 7 of the 8-door Dunjia, and the breeze really was terrifying. Sarutobi Hizen couldn't help taking a breath, and he still remembers it clearly to this day. For the first time, Hefeng opened Jingmun's battle with Madbo. It just happened yesterday. Moreover, what the dark side said to K's, Sarutobi Hizumi and others could also hear clearly. Really worthy of the dark side of the Japanese style. Uzumaki Mito's gaze narrowed slightly, and he couldn't help sweating over the breeze. Although she passed the test of the real waterfall after being reminded by the wind, but the dark side of the wind obviously cannot make him disappear in that way. Especially his sentence wants to replace the gentleness. It even made Uzumaki Mito's face suddenly changed. This guy actually opened the shocked door directly. As the wife of Zuma, Mito also knows about the ninjutsu developed by Shima. How strong is the Bamindunjia? She knew it well. She didn't agree very much when she asked Madbo to teach Bamindunjia in Japanese style. It is precisely because of understanding Bamindunjia. Knowing that this is a technique that can gain powerful power and at the same time is very costly. However, facing the dark side of launching an attack on him, Hefeng remained calm. He slowly turned around and faced his dark side. At the same time, he noticed that the punch on the dark side not only shattered the earth, but also left a shocking crack on Suzuo Nangu. Not only that, but Susanoo was affected by the shock and began to retreat again and again. Really worthy of my dark side. Hefeng couldn't help but praise. In any case, I am now an eternal kaleidoscope of writing round eyes. Defensive power is not what it used to be. This is just the beginning. The darkness sneered at the praise of the wind, and then opened the eternal kaleidoscope to improve his vision capture. Then, dark side stomped hard on his toes, quickly caught up with the wind, and punched his Suzuo Nangu again. It is completely different when fighting with Uzumaki Mito and the dark side. The contest between them will use the same moves to offset each other. After fighting, let alone hurt each other, even their clothes were not soiled. On the dark side of the Japanese style, the fighting style is completely different from the Japanese style. Advertisement. It seemed that he had deliberately chosen another way of fighting to prove that he was stronger than the gentle wind. But this is also reasonable. Do you want to prove that you can master these powers better than me? Interesting. Hefeng said lightly, facing the menacing dark side, he didn't have the slightest sense of crisis. In this case, your attack should be more violent. While talking, Hefeng went directly into the Lei Dun chakra mode, and the dazzling thunder and lightning flooded Hefeng's body. Complementary with Suzuo Nangu, the level of defense power has been improved a lot. At the same time, Hefeng waved his hand, drawing a steady stream of dust from the ground, winding it toward the ankle on the dark side. If the dark side chooses to use the same fighting method, he may not be able to defeat him. After all, he is another self, with the same chakra volume and moves as himself. Even memory and experience are exactly the same. However, in order to defeat himself, this guy gave up his tactics. So choose another way of fighting. In this way, the gap is reflected. Because Hefeng firmly believes that his own tactics are the best solution. Do you think this kind of thing can catch me? Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. The dark side glanced at the dust that was grabbing at him. These placer gold is inherently heavier than ordinary sand. Although the power is stronger, the speed is slower. This is also the reason why Gaara was able to stop his father Luo Sha in the Fourth Ninja War. And even Gaara, the speed of controlling the sand is far less than that of Shaoli, who opened 5 doors. Even use this method to grab yourself. Hefeng, the ontological thinking, really doesn't work. Thinking of this, the dark side regained confidence in replacing him, relying on high-speed movement, directly out of the attack range of gold dust. At the same time, there will be obvious cracks in the trajectory of the dark side action. This is the result of his high-speed movement and bursting out. Day Tiger. I saw the dark side clenched his fist hard, aimed at the vital point of the breeze, and slammed it past. The fist wind rubbed against the air, instantly changing into the appearance of a tiger. He opened his mouth wide, and went straight to the breeze. Want to bite him to death. However, in the face of the attack towards him, Hefeng still did not evade. This time, speed and power are all there. Advertisement. Click. I saw Hefeng beat his hands with both hands, Mu Dun Mu Ren's art. As the breeze fell, the earth began to tremble violently, and countless vines emerged from the cracks in the ground, gathered together, and transformed into a thick wooden figure. In front of the wind, the tall body is even bigger than the day tiger. It also blocked the sight of the dark side. Let the gentle breeze disappear completely before the eyes of the dark side. At this moment of the gap, Hefeng would break his thumb and wipe the blood on the palm of his other hand. Next second, the breeze quickly settled, and finally he slapped his palm towards the ground. Bang! A cloud of white mist spread around, and 2 toads that looked only the size of human heads lay on the ground with black lines on their faces. In this era, only Hefeng is the only ninja who signs a psychic contract with Miamu Mountain and can psychic them at will. Xiao Hefeng, your fighting frequency, will it be too high? Shen Zuo couldn't help but vomit. He doesn't believe that Hefeng is the self who is psychic when he wants to party with him. Every time I was channeled, Hefeng met his rivals. Need to enter the fairy mode. Who is the enemy this time? Ji-ma couldn't help asking. It doesn't understand how Hefeng performed in the First Ninja World War. It can be said to be unprecedented. At this time, dare anyone want to challenge the wind? Are you really afraid of death? However, Ji-ma also wanted to complain. The frequency of fighting with the wind is a bit more exaggerated than it was during the Warring States period. Of course, spitting out is spitting out. Shen Zuo and Ji-ma still value Hefeng, an 8-year-old genius. After realizing that they were about to fight again, the two toads kicked hard on their hind legs and jumped directly onto the Japanese shoulders. Started to merge with him. Boom. In the process of fusion, the day tiger released by the dark side directly penetrated the woodman technique. The attack like a chakra gas bomb went straight to the wind, as if to swallow him and tear him apart. This is another small zephyr. Shen Zuo and Ji-ma were dumbfounded. Chapter 398 Boom on the spot. Advertisement. Another little gentleman. Seeing the oncoming enemy, Shen Zuo was stunned on the spot. He had imagined countless possibilities and enemies he encountered, but he did not expect that the enemy this time would be another small gentle breeze. Right now, what's going on? Is Hefeng playing with his physical clone? But if you only learn from the entity clone, there is no need for channeling yourself in Zima, fusing the fairy mode, right? Moreover, the visitor exudes extremely strong killing intent. And many more. Suddenly, Shen Zuo frowned. It fixed its eyes and found that although the person who came was also a gentle breeze, his eyes were flushed. Unlike the riding wheel eyes that only have red pupils, even the whites of the eyes are red in this one. Paired with blue steam, it gives a strong sense of oppression. So strong. Deeply rolling his throat, apart from the difference between his eyes, the guy in front of him is basically a gentle breeze. Lei Dun Chakra mode. In an instant, the dark side burst into thunder, further strengthening his physical skills. Then, Shadow Clone Technique. No matter how you say it, Shen Zuo and Ji-ma can't stand on the dark side of harmony. This point is also very clear in the dark side. So from the beginning, he didn't expect to rely on Shen Zuo and Ji-ma to enter the fairy mode. Bang! A cloud of white mist suddenly appeared beside the dark side, and then another black figure rushed out of the white mist. Sitting cross-legged on the spot, began to gather natural energy. Help the dark side refine the fairy chakra. Hell stab. At the same time, the dark side stretched out a finger neatly, aimed at Hefeng's left chest, and stepped hard on his toes, and the whole ground suddenly fell apart. All in one hand. The incomparably majestic aura squeezed toward the wind. Rumble. Accompanied by the loud noises, the consistent hand of the dark side blasted directly on the Suzuo Nengu, and instantly penetrated a huge hole. At the critical moment, Hefeng escaped the deadly attack of this trick by virtue of his perception ability in the fairy mode. Pass by. However, the dark side's attack did not stop. The shock wave continued to fly forward. A shocking gully was left on the ground. Shensaku and Shima were stunned. Advertisement. The scalp is numb. Well, what a destructive power. Shen Zuo couldn't help exclaiming. In fact, Hefeng's body doesn't use its full strength when fighting other ninjas. Because there are no ninjas at all, it is worth fighting with the wind. However, in today's dark side, naturally there will be no such factors. A terrifying murderous aura exuded all over his body, just to get rid of the wind here and replace it. Become the strongest in the ninja world. So all the tricks he used were the strongest among his own cognitions. Let Shen Zuo and Ji-ma both stunned. It turns out that the strength of Xiao Hefeng is so strong. Shima blinked vigorously and looked at Susao Nohu who was pierced out of the hole. Although they rarely see Susao ninjutsu like this, they have been with the wind for so long. He already knew very well about Susanoo's defensive capabilities. At the same time, it also sets off the power of the dark side. Xiao Hefeng, what is the situation? Deeply rolling his throat, he asked the direction in amazement. So Hefeng quickly explained the current situation. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. The reason why this guy has such a strong strength in front of him is not for other reasons. But because he is another self. Through the real waterfall, the blackened oneself concretely into the real world. If he can't even do this level, then I will be really disappointed. Although Uzumaki Mito and others were worried to death after seeing the power of the dark side. But today's breeze is still an understatement. He didn't regard the guy in front of him as a threat at all. On the contrary, it is Shen Zuo, Ji-ma. Hearing what Hefeng said, an expression of awakening suddenly appeared. So, in order to defeat him, did you channel us? Indeed, such a tricky enemy is not easy to deal with. Shen Zuo let out a sigh of emotion. He even felt that he felt a little regretful about the current Zephyr, and he was really too rash this time. However, that's not it. Although he is the other me, but in order to prove that he can beat me, he chose another offensive method. How should I put it? This kind of subtle change prevented him from exerting my full strength. Hefeng said without thinking. Then I ignored the dumbfounded expressions of Shenzuo and Zima. Advertisement. My child, Dad, did you hear what Xiao Hefeng said just now? How confident is the current Xiao Hefeng about himself? In Zima's view, the current style of peace is more than just self-confidence. It has reached the level of conceit. Shen Zuo also has a black line on his face. Next second, Suzuo, who was destroyed by the dark side, recovered instantly and began to swell. At an instant speed, it changed into a complete body. Today's breeze has a kaleidoscope of eternal marks. The use of Suzuo Nengu and the price of Amaterasu were all wiped out. Now you can use this power freely. As soon as Suzuo Noji appeared, his right hand immediately drew out the Chakrata sword and slashed towards the dark side of the ground. The Shanshu chakra refined by Shensuo and Zima was also injected into this slash by the wind. Powerful. Do you think I can't do this kind of trick? The dark side raised his head and looked directly at the falling Chakrata sword, but his tone was dismissive. Until now, he still believes that he is better than the wind, and he should be the master of this body. And beating him is the best proof. Magnetic escape Jindao giant wave. I saw a burst of shout from the dark side, and did not compete with the wind in power, but extracted a steady stream of placer gold from the ground under my feet, and rolled upwards, like a sea wave, swept past. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. Chinese MTL fan fiction, second element novel can be read at hotmtl novel for free. My whole body is numb. However, when he finished speaking, a pillar of thunder descended from the sky and penetrated the dust. Then, from the golden waves, a huge palm stretched out at a speed visible to the naked eye. I am better than you. It blasted toward the dark side. A handful of, although relying on the high-speed movement of the shocking door, it dodges the center of the lightning pillar. The dark side roared loudly. The speed was so fast that the dark side was unexpected. Then the dark side was thrown out. I said it, gentle. It was able to stop after rolling several times in a row. Draw a perfect parabola in the air, and then fell heavily to the ground. Hold the Chakrata sword in one hand. Susanoo's Chakrata sword was resisted on the spot. However, the aftermath that was produced was actually shot on him. Chapter 399 I praise myself. Advertisement. What's the matter with this power? The dark side supported the ground with both hands, his eyes staring round. The brain just feels blank. The magnetic escape dust gold I just used should be the strongest absolute defense. How could it be impossible to resist the thunder of the body? This unscientific. Obviously I am the strongest. The dark side gritted his teeth and stood up from the ground. Although Lei Dun chakra just now made him feel incredible, but this level is not enough to kill him in seconds. At the same time, the entity clone of the dark side also condensed enough Shanshu chakra to allow him to enter the fairy mode. Bang! With a loud noise, the entity clone of the dark side disappeared on the spot. The refined chakras of the fairy magic are all fed back to the dark side. Next second, the dark side directly enters the fairy mode. An orange eyeshadow appeared at the corner of the eye. This power. The dark side rolled his throat, his gaze focused on his palm, and he clenched his fist hard. Now he can clearly feel a steady flow of power emerging from his body. Unlike the self just now, it's like two people. His confidence grew at an unprecedented rate. Don't talk about gentleness. Just facing the entire shinobi world, he has full confidence. Thinking of this, the corners of the dark side's mouth rose, and a confident smile appeared. Come on, Hefeng, let us use our strength to prove that who can control this strength. With a loud shout from the dark side, the extremely majestic chakra burst out of him. It burns violently like a purple flame. Immediately afterwards, white bones, meridians, muscles, and armor emerged one by one, covering the whole body of the dark side. Suddenly, another complete body was revealed. Everyone present took a breath and was dumbfounded, even if they have seen the Japanese win Suzuo Nohu a long time ago. But, seeing two exactly the same Suzuo Nengu came into view. That shocking feeling is still very strong. Everyone, be careful. Sarutobi Hizen couldn't help shouting. There was a sudden bad feeling in his heart. But, faced with such an exaggerated behemoth, he didn't know how to be careful. The most terrifying thing is that both Hefeng and his dark side have now entered the fairy mode state. Advertisement. That terrifying sense of oppression even made people feel suffocated. This is Hefeng, the power that he has now. Uzumaki Mito raised his head and stared at the two exaggerated Susanos that were hundreds of meters tall. Her cognition was subverted once again. If you don't see it with your own eyes, who can believe? Such a terrifying power is surprisingly possessed by an 8-year-old kid. The ninjas in Union Village stood still on the spot, with their mouths wide open as if they could squeeze a fist in. Shocked. This is simply the power of God. Yes, it is. In the cognition of these ninjas, this is no longer ninjutsu. It's a miracle at all. The god of ninja, well deserved. However, Hefeng didn't care about other people's attitudes. He didn't even look at these people. Really worthy of being the other me. The gentle breeze looked up and down at Susao Nogu. Although separated by a distance of tens of meters, the momentum is very strong. Even. Go beyond Uchiha Madara's iconic transformation. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. Come on, my dark side. The gentle breeze's low voice signaled to the dark side to say no more, just do it. Success. The dark side yelled, and controlled Suzuo Nengu to pull out the Chakrata sword, Yan Dun, add earth life. In an instant, black flames burst out from the palm of Susanoo Nohu, and directly covered Chakrata's sword. Upon seeing the breeze, he also pulled out the Chakrata sword and wrestled with the opponent. Now, naturally, no one will back down and avoid it. Because this will only lose momentum. Shen Zuo and Jima also held their breath. I couldn't help but squeeze a cold sweat over the breeze, praying that this battle could end soon. Damn it. The two Chakrata swords collided strongly. However, he chose to use Thunder Dun Chakra to strengthen Chakra Taito. To make the blade sharper. There was a loud and deafening noise, and the shock waves swept out in all directions. The whole earth suddenly became torn apart because of the unbearable force of the impact. The surrounding woods were directly razed to the ground. As for Sarutobi Hizen and others, although they are protected by the gentle wind, these dusts also have their own limits. In the face of the shock wave, the dust was directly broken up. I saw Sarutobi Hizen and the others flew out one after another. They used their best methods to offset the impact. Advertisement. However, with the exception of Uzumaki Mito, the others couldn't resist the power of the shock wave and fell heavily to the ground. Between Hefeng and his dark side, there is only each other in his eyes. The two kept wielding swords, approaching each other's vital points, and embarking on a swordsmanship contest. But no matter what, they are all one person. At the moment of swinging the sword, you can predict the opponent's attack route. For a time, the two are equally equal. It is worth mentioning that the dark side's attempt to burn the Zephyr with the addition of earth life did not work. This black flame can indeed burn everything. But as long as the gentle breeze uses the power of the eternal kaleidoscope, the black inflammation can be recovered, and there is no price or risk. In other words, Amaterasu is added to earth life. Be regarded as blocked by oneself. Neither the Japanese style nor the dark side can use this ninjutsu to play a key role. But, this kind of thing was also in their expectation. I saw two Suzuo Nengu swiftly swinging their swords. Damn it. Bang. Rumble. Every strong collision will produce a terrifying air current, sweeping in all directions. Rao is the giant sea turtle who felt this battle, and inevitably began to tremble. Yes, it is. The battle between the breeze and the dark side has caused fear in the turtle island itself. Suddenly, Suzuo Nengu started to imitate his actions. Compared with the battle between them, the tail beast runaway is nothing at all. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. Chinese MTL fan fiction, second element novel can be read at hotmtl novel for free. Your strength is also good. Hefeng replied. The two Suzuo Nengu back simultaneously. Do not. No distinction is made. Fire escape the art of water dragon bomb. The dark side displayed water escape, creating a huge water dragon to fight against it. It seems that it is more difficult to defeat you than I thought. The dark face condensed slightly, and he couldn't help but let out an exclamation. It's far more terrifying than when the tail beast ran away. The error-free chapters of I Become Naruto at the Age of 8 will continue to be updated on the novel website. There are no advertisements in the site. Please also collect and recommend the novel. Hefeng's hands quickly formed seals, condensing chakra to his throat. Art fire escape ho fireball. Still, the two forces collided again, producing white steam, which rolled upwards like a mushroom cloud. Chapter 400 Shining escape light wheel gust of wind and black arrow 0 type. Advertisement. The peace of mind is getting higher and higher. So far, his dark side has not shown any defeat. On the contrary, he is the strongest enemy he has encountered so far. Perhaps, I can directly release my full strength. Hefeng's eyes narrowed slightly and decided to give it a go. Come to fight against the dark side of yourself. And, let's test how strong you are now. Click. Thinking of this, Hefeng slapped his hands hard, releasing chakra without reservation. Mu done the art of the wooden man. With a burst of breeze, his chakra went deep into the earth, causing the cracks in the land to drill large and small vines, which grew together to form various parts of the giant of wood. But this time, Hefeng didn't have the slightest plan to suppress his own. In an instant, the wood giant swelled to more than 200 meters, which was even bigger than the tail beast. Rao is the dark side, his eyes widened. Do you think I can't do this kind of thing? However, the dark side was not timid, on the contrary, he quickly calmed down. In any case, he and Hefeng are the same person. His power is naturally his own power. Since Hefeng can do it, there is no reason why he can't do this kind of thing. If you can't do it, then I will be disappointed. Hefeng said lightly, not in a hurry to make a move. But after using the wooden escape, he used the magnetic escape again. A large amount of gold dust broke out of the ground, covering the wooden figure. In less than half a minute, all the gold dust on the entire turtle island was drained by the wind. So that he had to fuse ordinary sand in the magnetic escape, and finally cover the wooden man. Such an astonishing scale made his dark side take a breath. And, this also made him aware of a very serious problem. Although he and Hefeng are the same person, some resources are limited. Such as, placer gold just now, my own body drew them away at once, so that even if I used the magnetic escape, I couldn't condense any placer gold. Only ordinary sand can be used to strengthen the wooden man. This slight gap caused the ninjutsu of the two sides to be different. No, I am stronger than the gentle wind. The dark side clenched his fists with both hands, comforting himself in his heart. Advertisement. Prestige must be Zonung. In the next second, the two shouted in unison, and directly draped Suzuo Nengu on the wooden figure. Use this to increase your strength. This is not Lei Dun Chakra mode. The breeze and the dark side were in unison again, frantically increasing the intensity of Suzuo. Sarutobi Hizen and the others were dumbfounded. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. Especially Uzumaki Mito. As a pillar of the nine-tailed person, she always thought that the strongest tailed beast, the nine-tailed beast, was the most terrifying force in nature. However, it was nothing compared to Susao Nohu, strengthened by the Japanese wind. Especially that powerful thunder armor. It's like Thor is alive. Everyone who saw it was cold and sweaty. The god of ninja. The ninjas of Union Village couldn't help but stare at each other, squeezing a cold sweat for the plan he just wanted to calculate and win. At any rate, they didn't do anything. Otherwise, I really don't know how I will die. What kind of power a ninja should have here? This is the power of God at all. They even suspected that as long as Feng thought, Union Village was afraid that it would not be expelled from the ninja realm. The scariest thing is that Hefeng is only 8 years old this year. This unscientific. Hefeng, what are you? Danzo raised his head and looked directly at the tall Susanna, his heart was shocked again. He knew that Hefeng was a genius that shocked the world. But this power still far subverted his cognition. Even if you abandon your identity as a human being, you can't surpass the harmony. Gentle style. Yan and Xiaochun chanted the names of Japanese styles, and only worshipped Japanese styles in their eyes. I'm sure he is the most suitable candidate for Hokage. I always thought that the secret medicine red pepper pill of our Autumn Dao clan is incredible, and it can increase the strength of ordinary people 100 times. However, it seems that even if it is a 1,000-fold increase in strength, I can't be a gentleman's opponent. Taking the Wind stared at Hefeng blankly, and was deeply attracted by his Suzuo Nangu. Not to mention Sarutobi Hitoshi. At this moment, he was paralyzed on the ground, and he could only pray that Hefeng would fight against the dark side of him, so that they would not be affected. That kind of terrifying power is just the aftermath of the turmoil. Advertisement. It is possible to destroy them. Bring it on. The wind provokes loudly towards the dark side, and at the same time manipulates Susanoo Nohu to raise his right hand to condense all the Shanshu chakras and flow in different directions. Then inject chakra property changes into it. The difference is, except for the wind-done spiral shuriken itself, Hefeng is also the release of the earth life, on the spiral shuriken, covering the sky. This is almost my best blow right now. However, although the dark side followed Hefeng's actions as quickly as possible, he still encountered a very serious mistake. That is the calculation of chakra. Hefeng's fairy model uses deep work enzema to help them absorb natural energy. In other words, as long as the fusion state has been maintained, the gentle breeze can be used with a continuous flow of Shanshu chakra. The fairy mode of the dark side uses the old method of shadow clone. The amount of chakra is limited after all. Either it lasts for 5 minutes, or a few shots of super scale ninjutsu. And his Shanshu chakra, just now in the ninjutsu battle, has been consumed a lot. Now when condensing this wind escape spiral shuriken, the Shanshu chakra has been consumed even more. Seeing that it is about to exit the fairy mode. Once the immortal body is lost, Feng-done spiral shuriken cannot be thrown out. Damn it. Until this moment, the dark side couldn't help feeling a little flustered. He clenched his teeth, only to find that it was too late. The slight difference, little by little, finally ushered in a difference. Hefeng also realized this, your failure is doomed. In this world, there is no opponent in front of me, even myself. Can't beat me either, yelled gently, and the dark side, only before the fairy mode disappears, throws his own wind ninjutsu. But in this way, the power is more than a little bit weaker than the Japanese ninjutsu. Ended. Facing the oncoming wind escape spiral shuriken, Hefeng whispered softly, and he flicked the right hand that controlled Susao Noji. Shining escape light wheel, gust of wind, black arrow type 0. Naruto Uzumaki and Sasuke Uchiha were supposed to work together to perform ninjutsu, allowing Kase to complete it on the spot. Even the ninjutsu of the dark side was easily shattered by his searing escape light wheel, gust of wind and black arrow 0.